Yeah, I know we lost touch, but I'm still here. We were young, we were kids, it was something rare. I told you everything, but when it all burned down and you were left with nothing, did you question God or did you see it coming? Come on, oh come on, yeah. When it all burned down and you lost my number, or you couldn't even call, didn't know if you recovered or not. Come on. When it all burned down and you were left with nothing, did you question God or did you see it coming? Come on, come on. You were someone I trusted with all my heart. Always understood where I was coming from. You cared about me, but when it all burned down and you lost my number, or you couldn't even call, didn't know if you recovered or not. Come on, come on. When it all burned down and you were left with nothing, did you question God or did you see it coming? Come on, come on. And I didn't know if I would see you again. Oh, did I lose you? I think I might have lost you. But when it all burned down and you were left with nothing, did you question God or did you see it coming? Come on, oh come on, yeah, come on. Come and set me free.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everybody's having a wonderful, beautiful day. We got ourselves actually exciting updates for the week. More War Within Talents are out tomorrow. So what's the stream about? You know what? That's part of the whole YouTube streaming thing. It's about finding content because it's just about everywhere, man. I just actually wanted to hop on, talk to you guys, hang out, and just do some keys. I was kind of doing the whole hero to zero thing recently on the actually, we could just go play evoker. I could show you guys how evoker plays because I could do an 18 and that'll be really easy. The rogue, I don't know if I need keys on that thing. I'm not sure if I do. I think I actually should have like at least a socket guaranteed for tomorrow, even though I'm like at a point where my main has everything socketed, so I can't really get any much more gear or anything like that. I also wanted to play some mage. I've been trying to focus on that character, doing keys on that thing, pushing score on that thing, kind of my another zero to hero project sort of thing. But yeah, how you guys all doing? Also, it is going to be March by Friday, so it's going to be new trading post stuff. I'm actually very, very excited. I cannot wait to see what they show us. I feel like trading post so far has been really good. February 1 also was pretty solid. I want to see what March brings. I mean, they're going to be doing the whole 10-6 stuff in March, so I'm hoping it'll be maybe related. I swear, if they just have like Friday come out and like they'll have the trade post packed with all the pirate stuff, at that point it would be like, Blizzard, please just show us what you got cooking, man. Just show us. But yeah, tomorrow we are gonna have 8 new hero talents popping out of here. Hold on, let me get the music going because that's a little loud. But yeah, I'm excited. 8 of them, man. Normally they released only 4 at a time, and so far some of them have been stuff we've already seen. Like, I think what was the first set of hero talents? It was a little bit of that warrior one with mounted thing. We've seen a little bit of that during BlizzCon. And then in the next batch they released, there was the Grove Guardian, Keeper of the Grove, the Druid one. We kind of had a bit of a preview for that one on BlizzCon as well. So I'm hoping they do like Demon Hunter or Monk or Rogue, Shaman, Warlock, right? Maybe give us some other DPS specs of Warrior. Like, what about like Arms and Fury, Red Pally? I want to see what Shadow Priest is going to get. And the fact that they also took like the Oracle Priest and they stuck it back into a workshop just to figure out what they want to do with it, I'm actually perfectly okay with it. Like the fact that they're listening to feedback and they're making changes, I think is really good. Shaman, I want to see Shaman. You know what? What's the whole list of like hero talents? Wowhead hero talents, because they have the entire list of them here. Hold on, let me see if we can pull them up real quick. Yeah, out of all the hero specs, look. I think when it comes to Shaman, a lot of people are excited to see Stonebringer or even Farseer. I'm actually interested to see what they're going to do with Totemic. I'm actually very interested because there's a lot of totems for Shamans, and I feel like there's some cool stuff they could do with Totemic. Like, I don't know what they're going to do, but like, I would love to see what Totemic is about, just because it's so weird. For Warlocks, I think, honestly, I'd want to see like either a Hellcaller or Soul Harvester. I want to see one of those two. For Warriors, I want to see Colossus or Slayer. One of those. Either one. I want to see Void Weaver. I just think it sounds really cool. I want to see a Templar Paladin. I want to see a Shadowpan Monk. I want to see a Fatebound Rogue. Like Trickster, Deathstalker. I feel like those are going to be the ones that we'll see first. I want to see what the hell Fatebound is, because Deathstalker is going to be between Assassination and Subtlety, and it's probably going to be around like crit damage, backstabs, daggers, cold blood. Like there's a lethality, there's burst, right? Trickster is something that Outlaw, and I think it is. Is this one shared between Outlaw and Subtlety? And then Fatebound is Assassin Outlaw, yeah? I want to see what the hell Fatebound is going to be. Totemic is going to be garbage. Give me the Stormbreaker. I want to see Totemic because that is the one people have the least expectation of. But if you make Totemic absolutely badass and based, then it's only looking up for the rest of them, man. I want to see what Totemic is about. That's the one people are least excited for, but I'm the most excited because I feel like they might just have like the lame name of Totemic, but it might be like the most mechanically interesting one out of all 3. Like, if they can do that, like, the rest of Shaman is saved. I'm perfectly okay with it. I want to see Fatebound, honestly, out of Rogue. I think it's going to be Deathstalker, but I want to see Fatebound. For Evoker, I mean, I think Scale Commander, I think would be really cool, but I can imagine what it's going to be like. I think we need to see Sentinel. I want to see Sun Fury or Spellslinger for Mage. Druids, I want to see Druid of the Claw. Eldrachi, how do you say this one? Eldrachi Reaver or Felskard. I kind of want to see the Reaver. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I want to see the Reaver out of the Demon Hunter. Wait, can I just click original? There we go. Here we go. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, Felskar. I want to see Reaver. And Rider of the Apocalypse, Deathbringer. I don't know how many they're going to do. I think, if anything, they're probably going to do Shaman, Rogue, Warlock. I think they're going to do Shadow Priest. Monk would be great. Demon Hunter. Warrior. So there's like 2 more than Hunter. Did I say Paladin and Shaman? A Shadow Priest? Hold on. Shaman, Warlock, Rogue, Monk, Demon Hunter. That's 5. 2, 3, 1 more. Sentinel. Yeah, that's my guess. That's my guess at the very least. I'm still excited either way, man. I want to see what they get cooking. I want to see what that cooking. Also, chat, what are your thoughts on this is an interesting idea that I've seen. But what if they were to separate the hero talents to have like a visual aspect of a hero talent while keeping the talents, right? So kind of like separate them, right? Have 2 talent trees, but then adding a new like visual thing, right? So if you choose a Dark Ranger, all of your abilities are tinged with shadow magic. Or if you choose like Oracle, all of your spell effects now have a different like look to them. Or if you choose to play Mounted Thane, all of your abilities have a little bit of lightning coming out of them, right? So there's like a visual element that isn't related to the talents or whatever. I'm really interested in Warlock. Me too. Me too. I want to see what the Warlock is going to be like. There's a lot of good stuff I think they could do with it. I do think Warlock, like Destro at the very least, probably could use a full-on rework before they give us the hero talent. But like, yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, that's what I heard recently. It would be a dream, but I'd see it happening, to be honest. I don't know. It's still really early. It's still really early. And all we're talking about is like changing the visuals versus like making talents in themselves, right? Just like a visual thing. Because that's what I heard recently. Like, people are excited about hero talents from War Within, but they're also not very excited as well. Because they think it's going to be like Shadowlands Covenants. Hey man, what's up, Worthless? That's the thing that I haven't actually like thought about at all up until I heard that theory, but it's like, what if it's like Covenants? What is the problem with Covenants? A lot of things, but like the idea behind Covenants of like, you pledge yourself to a Shadowlands Covenant, right? Kyrian with all this angelic, arcane stuff, Necrolordy with the bone and necromancy, the Ventia vampire stuff. Oh, that's pretty cool, right? You got a whole new set of mugs, a whole new visual aspect of your character, right? Visually, everybody's distinct. So, like, it could be a Ventia rogue or a Kyrian rogue or a Necrolord rogue or a Fey rogue. And, like, you look different. You have a different abilities. There's a visual style to it. But, like, at the end of the day, you played whichever ability and whichever, like, tree is best. So then, let's say you wanted to play Ventia for the looks, but you had to play Necrolord, but you didn't like Necrolord, but you felt like you could have stuck in there. And that kind of killed people's, like, enjoyment out of it. So they were like, wait, why didn't we just like pick our covenants, get our abilities, get our like transmogs and customizations, right? Maybe give our abilities like the visual of a Necrolord, right? When we use our spike, we could be like a Kyrian spike, like a arcane knife or something, right? But like keep that ability, keep the soul binds, keep whatever the hell, right? So I wonder if that's something they could do. What's up, Nightmare? Nighttime. Boy, I hope he gets to be a rogue one. Dude, me too. You know what? For a second, I think it could still happen. Yeah, but I'm not sure some of the talent trees you won't be using some buttons will be visually changed to the other two, right? So, like, look, hold on. But couldn't they just make it all visual thing, a visual splendor at the end of the day? Wow, head hero talents. Because look, it's actually wouldn't be that difficult to do. Like, I haven't thought about it from that angle, but like, it wouldn't be difficult to do. Like, maybe like, okay. So let's say Sin Land, right? You're playing a Death Knight. The whole point you want to be vampiric, right? You want to be a bit of like a vampiric kind of character. And you get the ability of a vampiric strike. But you could change it from vampiric strike into like siphoning strike, where you extract a portion of enemies like life essence. And then you can make it like a Sin Land vampiric strike, or like whatever the hero talent siphoning strike. You know? Like, rename it to a siphoning strike, and then if you're Sin Lane, it gets like a red thing about it. Instead of summoning blood beast, you create a undead beast, or deathly beast, or a shadow beast, or a spirit beast. And then if you're a Sin Lane, now it has a red visual and like blood splatters everywhere. Or if you're like another hero talent, now it has a different visual. But you rename it from a blood is life to just a beast, like an undead soul beast that you summon. Instead of vampiric aura, you get yourself like necrotic aura. Like you leech things out of people and you can just make it necrotic. Instead of bloody fortitude, you can call it, I don't know, greater fortitude, right? Blood Soul Ground, Empower Death and Decay, but probably you would want to change this one. Infliction of Sorrow, you could keep it as is, and just leave the mechanic and leave the whole haste stacking, but just change the name of like Sin Lan to just like the Unholy, the Undying Frenzy. And that's it. You just change it to Undying Frenzy, make it so that instead of getting a Gift of Sin Lan, you just get a different buff. Instead of Gift of Sin Lan, it's just the Unholy Frenzy, the Undying Frenzy, the Fervent Undead. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, right? In Visceral Regeneration, you could just call it the same. But instead of like Vampiric Strike, you call it Siphoning Strike. And then when you're Sin Lan, all of your abilities have a tinge of blood to it. Like instead of like a normal death grip, you have like a bloody grip, right? Or whenever you summon up undeads, instead of like having them crawl out of the ground, they like splatter and then come together and create like a amalgamation of a bloody undead, right? Maybe your character gets a new visual, right? Maybe like your character gets like a little bit more of like this vampiric aura just when you're walking around. Or maybe like as a Death Knight you get red eyes. There it is, you get red eyes. So now you're a vampiric Sin Lan Death Knight. Right? Little visuals like that. So you can choose at the beginning like how you want to be, what do you want to be? A Sin Lan Death Knight or whatever other Death Knight. And then you just have two challenge trees and you got to pick which one you want. One is going to start you off with, instead of a Sin Lan Strike or Vampiric Strike, a Siphoning Strike. Right? Just rename them and keep the idea behind it and just let you pick the talents. But when you choose Sin Lan, now you have red eyes. And then all your abilities have like a little of like a tinge of blood to it. Just doesn't have to be like specifically everything bloody, right? But maybe like when you summon up a mount, you get like a bloody aura, and they can just reuse like a lot of the vent tier animations, but like adjust them so they're still new. But like you have the bases there, right? Range DH. I don't know about a range DH. What's up, Jake? How you doing, my guy? What would be DH third spec be? I think it would still be a melee. I don't think there would be a range. I think it would be a melee. I would imagine it would be like a debuffer class. Kind of like how AUG can buff allies. It would just have a debuffer class. Because I feel like they got AUG to a point where it's still like really, really strong, but like mandatory aspects of AUG just feel like less mandatory nowadays. Because you don't need an AUG just to get a key done, right? And when it comes to pushing keys, like plenty of groups are doing keys without an AUG. Like hell, MDI recently, some of the fastest times in like a fall, I mean, they had a Red Pally, Shadow Priest, Fire Mage, and Destro Warlock, and a Demon Hunter tank. And like, that was the comp, and they blasted it, dude. If you watch the recent like MDIs, you don't need an AUG. Like, can an AUG do well? In some comps, yeah, but they were essentially replacing a healer. But if you wanted a class that actually pumps damage, you would take a Destro Warlock, Fire Mage, Shadow Priest, maybe like a Sub-Rogue. If you wanted like an actual like support and do good damage, you would even at that point just take Rest of Druid. Like, I don't know if AUG is that necessary, and if they can do the same for like a third spec of Demon Hunter, make it a debuff class, I think would be cool. I don't care if they're trying realistically, but would it be 36 spec or no? 39, we already have 39 right now. We have 13 classes, all of them have 3 specs, except -1 for Demon Hunter, +1 for Druid, so that's still 3 on average. So 39, that'd be 40. Yeah, that would be 40 then. That'd be a lot. But still, I don't think it'll be the worst. It's just like, if they could give the evokers a third spec, like Demon Hunters, I feel like at the very least could probably get another one. And that'd be like a new way of like, instead of just adding a new class, here's a new spec. You know? And maybe they could do a bunch of revamps on top of it, and that could make the game feel fresh. See, even visual rework than I thought. Even more visual work than I thought. What do you mean, for like the Sin Lan? Or are you talking about for like a new Demon Hunter spec? And they have what, 6 months to release? I mean, they already have the talents set up, right? This tree exists. All you have to do is rename some of the talents, but you don't have to change the structure of the talent, right? You don't have to change the structure. Like, you don't even have to change the visuals of abilities. You just have to change it. So like, it's 2 Death Knight talents. One that's focused on a Siphoning Strike, or I guess you would change Vampiric Strike to Siphoning Strike, and like this like Frenzy buff, Haze buff, and another one that's focused on whatever else, right? Like, you could change it so mechanically it still stays the same, and all you have to do is just give some new visuals. Oh, you're a Sin Lan Death Knight, you get red eyes instead of blue, and your skin is pale like a vampire. Maybe give you little fangs, right? So visually you're a little different, and maybe when you summon up a mount, you get like a red like flurry, or maybe when you drop like a Death and Decay, it looks more bubbly, Or as a blood death knight, when you do blood boil, maybe it looks more like intense. Or when you death strike, there's a cool animation, and that's all you gotta do, right? Just summon to make a player feel like, oh, I'm like a Sunland Death Knight by the looks of it. But then the talents themselves can still have the functionality. You don't have to do anything for it. You know? You don't have to do anything special for this. Hell, they didn't even say like there's gonna be an animation for Vampiric Strike. It's just gonna give you a Vampiric Strike. I imagine it's gonna have a new animation, but we haven't seen anything. Because what if they were like, how would that be difficult, right? You just like you give a couple of new things that make people feel kind of like a Sunland Death Knight. Take a lot of the Venti animations that are already in the game and like find use for them. Like instead of like having your Unholy Death Knight Swarm, it's now that Red Swarm ability from Ventier. Just swap them out, right? Instead of going for like a normal Obliterate, now you get the Condemn. Like how is that difficult? How would that be difficult? Explain. I feel like that'd be so easy. That doesn't sound difficult. All you have to do is rename these, but like in essence, they don't have to change. It still is a Vampiric Strike, it still goes Celine, it still does all the things that it does. You just change the name. That's all it does is like instead of Vampiric Strike, you call it something else. But like it stays the same. Instead of giving you like essence of the Blood Queen, it gives you like essence of the, I don't know, Fervent Undead, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I just don't think that could happen. Third Demon Hunter spec. So if you talk about third Demon Hunter spec, I don't think that would ever added in this new expansion. I don't think that would come in this War Within expansion. I don't think that's going to be the focus. I'm gonna break some of your hearts. It's just not happening. It made sense for the evoker since that was a new class and they wanted to define that class more, and they probably had the idea of a third spec at some point. They just wouldn't have it ready by the release, and then they released it when it was ready. I think they always wanted to, right? Because there's like all these different Dragonflights, and they were like, you know what, let's go wild with this. Here are Town's biggest issues: lose practical force in a playstyle and two specs of the same class. They don't play exactly the same. Blood does not play like Unholy. But like, doesn't Blood use haste? Doesn't Blood want to do some healing from your heart strikes? So like, that would work. I do think some talents though, right? I think the biggest issue would be, what talent was it? This one. You don't want to use Vampiric Strike offensively, but like you could swap it out to another ability instead of like making it a Vampiric Blood. Make it like, I don't know, what other talents are there for Death Knights? Hold on a second. There are a couple of talents you could probably go with, right? Maybe make it every time you press the Ancient Rune Weapon. That's pretty aggressive. You'll probably use it pretty regularly. Or make it whenever you press Blood Drinker or Consumption, you get a haze buff, and now for like the next few seconds, every one of your heart strikes will always give you a haze buff. That makes you want to play Blood Drinker or Consumption, which fits in land. Just do that and just take it out. Like, that would be easy. Solved. Like, that is not a fun part and solved. And they can also do some infliction of sorrow, because having to redot an enemy and then Vampiric Strike to consume it, then having to redot it, that's another talent that could change. But like, the rest of it doesn't really need to change. I mean, maybe like Bloodsoaked Ground could be adjusted to do something else to take you out of your Death and Decay so you don't have to stay in Death and Decay. But like, that's 3 changes you gotta do. 3. I don't think that'd be difficult. I don't think that'll be an issue, and like, it still is a good stat. I think the haste will still work pretty well. The Vampiric Strike and the pet summoning aspect, and the burst aspect of it, and the speed of gameplay, I think all that for the most part will work fine. But again, like tuning, balancing, adjusting a couple of things. But like Sinland, I feel like it looks like an easy fix. I don't know. Like, just like, tell me if I'm wrong, and then explain to me how I'm wrong. Because that seems like an easy fix, because we identified as a community of players, thousands of players, hundreds of thousands of players that can look at a thing and be like, hey, here's how it wouldn't work. And they just play the class like it's gospel, right? You can just see some issues coming out of it. And like, they're already receptive to fixes and changes. I mean, if you look at just where Keeper of the Grove started and like its talents, and then the recent one they've gotten, like, we've already seen changes to this thing. Like, it probably needs a bit more changes, but we've already seen changes to this thing just between BlizzCon and now. And like, the whole Oracle preset were like, all right, yeah, we tried it, we heard your feedback, like, we had a cool idea, but we were like, we're totally not married to the idea, and we will change it if we need to. Everybody gave their opinions, and they're like, yep, we hear ya, we're gonna make it changes. That's it. That's good stuff. Yeah, but this is one class, yeah, you have to go through every spec and make it different, roughly 3 different visual sets. Only 2 per spec. right? Only 2 per spec. But it doesn't have to be like a crazy amount of visual stuff, right? I mean, a lot of the animations they have in the game, but like, let's say like Death Knights don't really use that condemn animation. Unless I guess you have Obliterate, but then you would just have like a red effect to it. And it's not like they would have to make a new one though, Forsaken. But like, what else would they do for like Keeper of the Grove? I don't really know what they would be able to do with this one though. Like visually, I guess they would give their abilities more of like this naturey thing, but yeah, I don't really know what they could do visually with it to make a Druid really feel like a Keeper of the Grove. Even as you're playing into like the whole Arcane, I guess what you would do is you would change the look of your Starfire, Moonfire, maybe not Moonfire, but like Starfire, Star Surge, Starfall to be more naturey, and you can already do like some of those with a glyph. At least Sunfire you can, not Sunfire, Starfall. But just like it would change the color scheme of them. So you, instead of like blasting enemies with arcane damage, you do like arcane fire damage, or like nature fire damage, right? It's just like you take the color scheme, adjust it to be even a little more yellow, and you're good, right? At least that's what I would imagine. But you could probably do even more like more unique stuff with it. Had a similar thought here. It sounds feel kind of like results of less player side flexibility. Had a similar thought here. It sounds feel like a result on less playstyle flexibility, but they are flexible though. You can switch them anytime you want to. Like you don't need to like marry yourself to a hero talent. You can just pick between one and the other and swap them whenever you want to. Like you just want to switch over to the other one, you can. Kind of like current talents. You just like you take like a hero talent tree that helps you make your choices in your spec tree. That makes you lean into specific playstyles because now it's supported. Because otherwise those playstyles wouldn't really have that much synergy, but now they do. But you're not adding like both at the same time. You can just, again, pick between them. And like it's supposed to be completely flexible, you know? Keeper of the Grove playstyle, both balance and residues don't like, because I've heard a lot of residues not like taking the tree ends. I DK about players, but I know a lot of druids don't like keeper hero talents. But like I feel like trees themselves are like, if numbers wise they're incredibly effective, and like they're very strong. But it's like, I guess the question then would be like, what don't you like about them specifically? Because they're very powerful. For boomkins it makes sense because like you don't really use trees, and I guess they're just not really super interactive, but it does give you a minute burst window, which might actually be like strong on paper. But like the trees themselves, you just summon them and that's it, they exist. You know what I mean? I'll take the L if they do this, but I think they're seriously underestimated the work that would take to change system like this. Should they? Yeah, I think so. I mean, all they have to do is basically rename some of the talents, right? We don't even know if there's any animations or any unique stuff behind the Sun Land, besides like, oh, when you press on a button, now you have like a buff. You know what I mean? We don't know if there's any animations that are added into it. All you have to do is just like, okay, just a couple of things that make a Death Knight look more Sunland. Certain abilities now have like a red hue instead of like a normal purple or blue hue or red hue. I guess Blood DK don't really need to change too much. And like just give them red eyes and give them some couple animations here and there. They don't even have to find like new animations. They can take stuff that already exists in the game. Again, there's a whole library of Venthyr abilities that could be utilized, right? That's Sunland. Isn't it because of the tier set though? Even before the tier set, it was very strong. No, even before the tier set, it was very strong. Like, you didn't play in season 2, I guess, but a lot of people played trees as soon as they came out because the amount of healing they would do is nuts. Like right now you're playing with a tier set, but even before that, trees were incredibly good in season 2. Like it was, I think, somewhere at some point in season 2 when they even added the trees to be like a talent on the same row as Nourish. And they were very often played. Hold on, let me see if I can find like logs or something. Let me look. Like, I think that's like the only point I'm going to be able to prove, but that was a tier set that didn't play around logs at all. And I guess it'll be Aberrus, right? And I'll take like the final patch of Aberrus, which is like, what, 10-1-7? And then we'll take like, instead of damage, we'll do healing. And we'll go to like some of the best healing logs for Scale Commander Sarkarath. There's a log with a Dogson on Scale Commander Sarkarath. Dogson in a guild. It's some Russian guild. I don't even know how to read the name. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So this is his logs. He did like really good. Like top log, Rejuve did a bit of healing. Regrow does quite a lot of healing. Regrow does a bit of healing, and then his Grove Guardian's about 8% of his healing. Like just for pressing a button and they pop out. They wild growth, equipment, they nourish, and like they were really strong. Like for the amount of healing that they do, like instant cast button, almost think of it like an extra healing over time. That just doesn't scale with your mastery in the same way. Although Nourish does, like their healing from Nourish is gonna scale, but like they're not like a heal over time because they're like an entity that actually casts stuff. But like they were played, they definitely were played. Grove Guardians were definitely played, and like 8% of your healing from just trees. I mean 4% from Leech, right? That's pretty good. For just cast, and you cast it pretty often. I mean, of course you're doing Rejuve and you're doing like big ramps, but like Grove Guardians are fantastic to do healing in between. Yeah, so to say like nobody played him and nobody ever wants to run him and people only play him because of the tier set, like it's categorically wrong. Like if you played any of season 2 and when you saw that change, and like a buddy of mine who plays the rest of Druid, 99 parses, he's in our guild right now, he was there for Sarkareth. Like he was playing trees. Like we were watching him play trees. We were hearing him talking about trees. Like that man doesn't plant a tree IRL, but as soon as trees came out in the game, that man out there planting trees, dude. Trees everywhere, man. You play trees. It was really good. They changed them and they made them good. And like if you thought that they were just not good at all, you weren't paying attention. There's just no shot. No shot. I don't know what rest of Druid friends you're talking to. They were like, nah, I didn't like trees, but like, yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. Top logs use trees. Trees were pretty good even before the tier. Did you make a how to gear PvP video or something? Can I find it? No, not for PvP. I did a recent video like how to gear for season 2, but not a how to PvP gear or anything. Sure, for the one that can use event their animations, but what about the others? Yeah, I guess Keeper of the Grove, I guess we need to turn a lot of their abilities from arcane into more naturey, and maybe like give like certain other abilities, right? Like I don't know, what would you do? Because like what would the rest of Druid have? Because a lot of abilities only have a tinge of nature. I guess you would just give them like different kind of trees if you do end up playing trees, right? If you do summon trees, maybe now they have like a new model or something that looks like a lot more like a bigger bloom, or instead of a tree, instead let's say it's just a Keeper of Scenarios, right? The horseman or whatever that spawns in and starts casting, and now you will look like a Keeper of the Grove, right? Maybe when you have a travel form, instead of going to travel form, you can transform into a keeper, like the stag people or whatever, and you can just walk around, right? Or maybe that could be your new tree form. You become a keeper. Instead of popping into tree, you could choose to become like a Keeper of the Grove, antlers and everything, right? And you have like unique animations, and they already have the model. You just gotta make it like work just well enough to get similar animations to a tree, and there it is, and you're a real keeper. As for like Boomkin, I don't know what you would do. I guess you would need to make a lot of their lunar abilities look more arcane-y, and maybe you could change it so instead of doing arcane damage, do like sunfire damage. But like it wouldn't really make that much of a difference, I don't think, in overall. You know, you already have glyphs to change some of those abilities. Lune's Chosen, just do the reverse and make it a moon thing. And instead of like a tree, make it like a celestial tree, right? Just make it like a tree, but like apply that Boomkin glyph with like celestial look. And there it is, and you're good, right? And maybe give a lot of these nature spells you have, maybe like a tinge of arcane. Instead of giving you like a green rejuve, it's a blue rejuve. Right? It's just like something that has to be like something that makes you feel and look like a Lune's Chosen, even though you're casting all these restless spells, right? There have to be a tinge of arcane and like moon, and there's like actual specific visuals players would want to see. Evoker with Chrono Warden, I mean, you would want to see clocks, you would want to see timey-wimey stuff. But like for Chrono Warden, you would just give it like a bronze tinge to a lot of their abilities, which Aug already has and Prez already has, but you would just like double up on it. So like it said, let's say if as a healing evoker, right? When you go for like your Dream Breath heal, it's now bronze, right? It's now bronze, right? And instead of like the green bloom for like your flowers that you send out, maybe make them bronze. That's it. Or maybe you could keep that green just for like visual clarity, but like a couple of things to make you feel and look like a Chrono Warden. I don't think that would be all that difficult. Dark Ranger, basically just make it so instead of like a black arrow, it's just like a bleed arrow. But if you're a Dark Ranger, now it's a shadow shot. Now it's a black arrow look to it. Instead of summoning like a random beast out into darkness, instead of like a undead hound, it's just a pet. It's just a pet that joins in to help you, to assist you because you're a hunter. But as a Dark Ranger, it's a shadowy undead pet. But as another like Sentinel, it's a normal like, I don't know, wolf, horse, cow, whatever you want it to be. Like, it literally doesn't matter. Instead of like giving like dark chains, it could just be like a net, right? A net. But if you're Dark Ranger, it's a chain. And instead of like withering fire with black arrows, it's just normal arrows, right? It's just like a visual adjustment. You would just need to make like 2 versions of this, and that's it. And Dark Ranger would just give you maybe like, you know, like maybe some kind of like an aura. Well, like say maybe you use your disengage, right? Your character gets like these shadowy streaks and maybe leaves like a little bit of like a smoky effect, right? Stuff like that, little things. It doesn't have to be like super in your face, but like it makes player feel like a Dark Ranger while still staying as a hunter. Frostfire, I mean, for Fire and Frost Mage, they're doing some cool stuff with their weaving abilities together, which I think is kind of neat. I kind of like the weaving aspect of it. But for Frostfire, like I mean, they would just basically give some of those fire abilities a little bit of frosty effect, and for some of those frosty abilities a little bit of fire effect. And that's it. Like, you got a bunch of effects that you can meld together. Paladin Lightsmith, I don't know how this would work. I like the whole weapon thing, but like I guess you would want like your weapons to maybe have a glow when you use certain abilities. Maybe like when you press a defensive, your armor has a glow, and when you press like wings, your weapon now looks very, very different, right? When you use certain abilities, your weapon maybe changes shapes, right? So instead of like, let's say, what if they did this? Because this can be used by Holy Paladins. What if, let's say, for them specifically, they just give them a new Holy Shock animation, right? When you Holy Shock an ally, Holy Shock an enemy, it can be used to heal, or you can be used to damage. When you Holy Shock an ally, maybe give them like a little bit of like, make their armor like glow. Maybe make it look like someone like they get, I don't know, like some kind of like armor animation around them where it shows like you're fortifying them. But it doesn't just as an animation. But when you attack an enemy, it's almost like a blade spawns and pierces into them, and it disappears. So every time you hold a shock an enemy, it's a blade that pierces them. But when you buff an ally, it almost like reinforces the armor. That's it. And you wouldn't have to change this at all. You would still keep the Holy Armaments ability and all that stuff. Maybe rename things a bit. Oracle, I have no idea. I guess it would just add maybe like, I don't know, some timey-wimey stuff too. I wouldn't know what a visually Oracle would look like. Mountain Thane, lightning. You thunderstomp, lightning. You throw a stormbolt, lightning. You shockwave, lightning wave. You go avatar, lightning courses out of your body the entire time. You use certain powerful abilities, lightning. That's it. That's it. And you would still just do this whole like avatar-y thing, but you would change from like lightning strikes to like, I don't know, other type of strikes. And you would just like have the whole Mountain Thane of lightning abilities and then replace that with whatever other theme you would have. But instead of like lightning shooting out of you, maybe like now there'll be like dust every time you like swing at the enemy. Or maybe like make it look like bloodbath if you're like, let's say a slayer or whatever, right? Every one of your strikes looks a lot more like gruesome, a lot more brutal, right? Something along those lines, right? Or maybe like as you fight and you're like so heated up, your character's set on fire. I don't know what they would do. I don't really know what they would do with Colossus and all the other ones, but like that's what I think would be really easy, right? And how difficult would it be? You just add a couple extra animations based on like what hero talent you are. I don't expect for them to do every single ability is now gonna have a new visual look, but like a handful of abilities and maybe like something unique, like when you go avatar, you have lightning coursing out of you. So now everybody can tell you're a Mountain Thane Warrior. When you use certain abilities like Thunderstomp, Stormbolt, Shockwave, or even like one specific key ability as part of your class kit, lightning effect out of it. That's it. You wouldn't have to do too much. There's actually a great example of my point. How you're supposed to frost fiery animation if they use another tree when you are never pressing fire buttons. How are you supposed to use... Wait, Frostfire is actually a great example of my point. How are you supposed to make a Frostfire animations work if you use another tree when you were pressing fire buttons. What, as like a frost mage, if you're never pressing fire buttons, you're probably going to be pressing like, I mean, it doesn't matter, right? It just needs to make you feel like you fuse those elements together. Even if you're not, let's say you're, what are some of the other hero talents are? Let's say you want to be like, you want to have the look of a Frostfire mage. Great. All of your fire and frost spells now have a tinge of the other element. You're a frost mage that wants to look like a Frostfire. All of your frost spells now have a bit of fire. You know that staff? Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. WoW artifact weapon. WoW artifact weapon appearances. I can't spell appearances of the life of me, dude. God, if I go down in hell, hopefully the devil doesn't make me spell things. Otherwise, I'm dead, boys. It's over. It's over. Yeah, here we go. We can see appearances and stuff. Right, let's say there's like a, what is it, hidden appearance? Frostfire? Yeah. You see like there's a frost and there's an extra fire element to it? You see? They just added like fire on top of like a frosty thing. Just do that for all of your spells. Your frost spells are change with a bit of fire. But you want to be a Frostfire mage that plays a spell slinger. That's fine. Let you have the talent tree of a spell slinger, but your frost abilities still have a tinge of fire. That's it. It doesn't matter if you press Fire Blast or Fire Breath. You pressing your frost abilities, you still pressing Flurry, Ice Hands, Frostbolt. But because you chose to look like a Frostfire mage, all your frost abilities have a little bit of fire to it, or vice versa. Like if you're a fire mage and you want to look like a Frostfire, all your fire abilities have a bit of frost to them. But if you want to use your Sun Fury tree as like your actual combat tree, that's fine. All those abilities could still maintain the Frostfire effect. Why wouldn't it? Like if you were to separate the visual and the mechanical talents out of it, why wouldn't it? And that's all you gotta do, right? Pick a handful of like commonly used spells and just add like an extra additional effect to them. Like, can't they take a Fire Blast, Pyroblast, right? That's already in the game files, and add like an extra frosty effect to it if you are a Frostfire mage. The game will check, oh, what spec are you? You chose to look visually like a Frostfire mage. Bam, there you go. All your fire spells are tinged with a bit of frost. Right? So like when your meteor slams down, you can also see shards of ice spout out of it at the same time. Why not, right? You cast a fireball, and it doesn't have to change like your damage, but it makes you look like a Frostfire mage. It just makes you look like you wield the two elements together. Or if they want to, you can make those abilities now do Frostfire damage. Not mechanically any different, but they just do a bit of frost and a bit of fire. Just as a flavor. Right? Like in retail WoW, I don't think like it was going to be checked for resistances ever, so it's not like it's going to make that much of a difference. Hope one of the Frostfire hero spec is that you will weaving different spells together. Doesn't need to be a Frostfire Nova, etc. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily need to be either. Yeah, like Frostfire, like for even Frostfire Mage itself, right? The only ability that actually weaves the two is this. And then your Frost abilities have a chance to deal Frostfire. Fire abilities have a chance to deal Fire. Using a Frost ability calls a Fire ability. Using a Fire ability calls a Frost ability. But yeah, you're weaving them together. You master them together. You're not necessarily like... all of your abilities have a tinge, but like if you wanted to have a visual to it, you would just give certain abilities like a Frostfiery effect, and that's it. You can still keep this and change it from Frostfire into like Infuse Bolt, right? Instead of Frostfire Bolt, it's an Infuse Bolt, where you fuse into elements together. Or you're doing like some kind of like other type of magic, Spell Frost magic, I don't know. Chromatic magic. There you go. And then it doesn't have to be like one element or another. When multiple specs can play it, you know? Like, how would that not work, Forsaken? That's the question. How wouldn't that work? Right? It makes you feel like you're fusing two elements together, but then you still have the specific talent tree that gives you different mechanical and gameplay options. Okay, I don't know if we're clicking as far as our points go, but like, all my point has been, could they potentially separate the visuals of a Frostfire Mage while still keeping the two talent trees, right? Visually, you want to represent yourself as Frostfire. That's it. All abilities that are fire have a bit of frost. All abilities that are frost have a bit of fire. If you use another tree where you're never pressing fire buttons, yeah, but if you use another tree, you still are gonna have you choose to identify as a Frostfire Mage, so all abilities just have a visual of Frostfire. The whole point is to separate the visual, the fantasy, and the mechanical parts, because mechanical parts, people are always going to pick the best talents that are the strongest. Like, it's going to happen. But what if you're like, I want to be a Frostfire Mage? Cool, pick between these two talents, you can invest into either one of them. You can only have one of them active, but you can like, that's how you change your gameplay. Frostfire right now makes you want to play into Frostfire abilities or whatever. Makes you want to invest into like Comet Storm, Meteor, Ice Nova, Fire, Living Bomb. I don't know why I was struggling there. Look at another hero mage spec and tell me how the Frostfire visuals make any sense. Like if you want to be a Frostfire mage, but let's say, so let's say this is how it would work. Let me show it to you. I wish I had like a visual way. So this is how it would work. Should I just bring up like GIMP? Should I bring up like Photoshop? I feel like that might be a little bit easier. Actually, that might not be the worst. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this real quick. I'm gonna see if I can set up GIMP just so I can show you guys a little bit. Hold on a moment. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna make it a visual thing, right? I'm gonna make it like a really plentiful visual to it. I think I'm gonna do like a grayish background just to simulate that Wowhead thing. Because I think like having a pure PNG background just doesn't really work super well. Okay. Okay, cool. I think we're set. All right. So open up GIMP. This is how I edit all my thumbnails and whatnot. Right. So let's say you have Sunfire, Frostfire, splitting your trees. Right. Actually, let me do this. Just so we can add that to talent tree. Right. How would you separate the talent trees whatsoever? Right. Okay, so let's say you are a frost mage, right? As a frost mage, you have access to I don't know what they're actually gonna get, like Frostfire, right? You could be a Frostfire mage if you want to, right? Or you could be, I think it's gonna be Spellslinger, I'm pretty sure, right? No, that's not what I wanted actually. I need you. Yeah. Cool. So frost mages in the game, let's say, for example, are going to be able to choose between a Frostfire and like the way you want to look as a mage, Frostfire or Spellslinger. Like what if they added like a way for you to choose that visually, right? Let me do it like this. Visual, right? A talent tree that lets you decide this. Visual. It asks you at the very beginning. I don't even know what I'm changing all the naming nomenclature here. But let's say that at the beginning it's going to ask you, hey, how do you want to represent your character? What do you want a visual look like? Oh, I want to be Frostfire, which means all my fire and frost spells as a frost mage are going to be tinged with frost and fire. Cool. Or Spellslinger. Oh, all of my arcane frost abilities are now going to be like a spell arcane-y kind of tinge to it. Cool. And maybe like when you use certain abilities like a barrier, it has a mix of both. Or if you use Ice Nova, now you have a little bit more like arcane-y power about you. Or Frostfire, when you press Icy Veins, now you have a little bit of fire, like bits of fire like emanating of your character here and there. Like you're mostly frost, but there's a little bit of fire here and there. Or maybe like your staff sets ablaze, right? Fingertips have a little bit of fire. Like, so you get to choose your visual, and then there'll be, let's say, like one talent tree. That's a Frostfire talent tree, but instead of Frostfire talent tree, now it's called, I don't know, you can name them whatever you want to, right? Instead of Frostfire, let's say it's like our spell frost bolt, right? Now it's a spell frost bolt tree. So instead of like frost and fire abilities, it's all spell frost. You use certain abilities, now you get a combo. And it's gonna be like, oh, you want to weave like fire abilities and frost abilities together, but it creates new magical, let's say, spell frost. Right? I'm just gonna go on for spell frost because it's like kind of like what evokers get to when they're blue magic, right? And Spellslinger, it's like a chromatic bolt or whatever, right? And it's not gonna be like the same talent tree. Like, I know it has a Frostfire bolt in there. Pretend it's like a different kind of bolt. Pretend Like if I need to just like, if I need to do it like this, hold on. Maybe I can do this. Hold on. Man. I need to get it like big enough. Let's say it's all placeholder, right? Placeholder talents. It doesn't even matter what they have in there, right? It doesn't even matter what they have. It's just a talent tree, right? Talent tree that plays one way and a talent tree that plays another way. It doesn't even have to be the same. Like one of them is going to be like this, the Frostfire Mage talent tree more or less. But like you could change some of the naming aspects of it. But let's say you get like two different trees and they play completely differently, right? You take what they had the idea for the Frostfire talent tree and you apply it here, but change a couple of namings so it doesn't have to be a Frostfire specifically. So take Spellslinger, take the basic mechanics of Spellslinger, right? Apply all of it into the talent tree, but change it so it doesn't have to be ambiguous. It can be ambiguous kind of bolt. That doesn't even matter, right? It's just an ambiguous kind of magic bolt, but still takes the mechanics of what they had for Spellslinger and just applies here. Mechanics of Frostfire applied here, right? So mechanically, this is a Spell Frost tree. Mechanically, this is now Chromatic Bolt tree. It's the same idea of what they had for Spellslinger. You just give it a different name. It doesn't matter. Mechanically is one way, mechanically is another. So two separate, distinctive playstyle choices. But on top of, you also just get to do visual. Frostfire, okay, all of your magic is now tinged with a bit of frost and a bit of fire. That's it. Spellslinger, okay, now all of your frost magic has a bit of arcane aspect to it. That's it. Maybe like when you use Prismatic Berry, now it has a mix of elements. Maybe use certain abilities, like when you buff yourself up, now there's a tinge of that other type. And it's just a visual. You get to choose your visual, and then you get to choose two mechanically different playstyles. They're no longer linked. They're no longer linked. There's just a visual aspect, one mechanical playstyle, another mechanical. And you can switch between these as much as you want to, right? Oh, I'm doing dungeons. I'm gonna go this mechanical playstyle. Oh, I'm doing raids. I'm doing this mechanical playstyle. Back to PvP, back to this playstyle. But visually, you get to retain that the same and they don't have to be linked. There's no more links. That's what I mean. And I don't know why they couldn't do that easily, is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't sound like it's a difficult change because you have mechanics behind it, and those can stay mostly as they are, like a little bit of tuning here and there. Always one of them is going to be better, but like mechanically there can be differences. But then all you have to do is attach a visual, and you just got to find some creative ways to add those extra effects to what already exists. And again, they have a big library of spell effects to utilize, right? I don't think a lot of people would be unhappy that a Death Knight got a bunch of Venthyr-esque abilities and red eyes. Like, how difficult would that be to give them red eyes? They already have red eyes in the game. You know what I mean? They already have red eyes in the game. You know what I mean? I hope you're cooled down. Just offer another perspective, and that's what I'm offering my perspective as to why can't this be easy? Can't this be like easily realized? I am looking at this. I'm like, that doesn't sound like that'd be difficult. How would that be difficult? That's what I'm trying to say. How would that be difficult? You just add like a unique flavor to what you want to look like. You have a mechanical playstyle 1, mechanical playstyle 2. That's what I was trying to explain the entire time. Like, how would that be difficult? Right? Changing the visuals for one ability of that tree's focus currently. We need visuals that work for both. First of all, we don't even know if they're doing visual changes for any of the hero talents, except for like Mountain Thane, where they're adding some lightning stuff to it. Like, that's it. And there's like a handful of lightning things. It's not like every ability is now going to have a lightning tinge to it, like made by the Thor himself. Like, you stomp, and there's sometimes lightning. You throw your Strongbolt, there's lightning. You go Avatar, there's a bit of lightning. And that's it. Like, that's all you have to do for all these specs. All you have to do is take that visual thing that they already have in the game and just let's choose, like, visually, how do you want to look like? Cool. All right, we're going to apply a handful of these visual things. And again, I'm not expecting for them to have like, oh, I'm Sinister Striking, and now all of a sudden, because my rogue is some kind of like, what are the rogue specs even? What are the rogue specs even right now? Let's say, like, I'm not expecting this. I'm not expecting, let's say, as a rogue, if it used to be, I don't know, a rogue fate bound, right? Where if I Sinister Strike, I'm not expecting fireworks to fly out of the boss's asshole or anything, right? I'm not expecting some big shebang out of it. I'm not expecting to have like every WoW spell animation all happening at once. Maybe like if we gave like a slightly different colored Sinister Strike slash, I'm cool with it. Right? They had those back in Legion. When you got artifact weapons, instead of like a Sinister Strike, we got a Saber Slash. It just has like a yellow streak. That's all it has. And like, that's all that'd be fine. And maybe like I don't know, you want to press Adrenaline Rush or whatever ability that is tied to Fate Bound, right? Maybe give that like a different animation, a slightly different one. I'm cool with it. And I don't think they need to do too much either. Like, I don't know where people's imagination are going, but like, to me, I just don't imagine like you would need to do a lot. Which is why I'm like, why couldn't you? Like, to make a Sinland Death Knight, I don't think it would take like a mountain of expansion worth of work and like thousands of people all working on that thing. Give him red eyes to make him feel like a Sinland. Give some of their abilities more of this bloody theme, but like you can still stay unholy, which is all about pestilence, diseases, undeads and stuff, right? You can still keep that core, but then you have like a little bit of like a slight twist. Instead of like a swarm, now you have that Venthyr ability from like the Venthyr Covenant, where you had also a swarm, a blood swarm or whatever. And instead of, let's say, maybe you're using Festering Strike, how you normally do, now you get that like condemn animation to it. And there you go. Maybe like when you summon up a mount, now there's like a bit of like Venthyr red mist magic around you before you summon any mount. And that can make a player feel like Sinland. That's the thing. Like, I don't know what people expect out from like in terms of like how to make a player feel like a Sinland. Maybe there's like a lot in the community that actually want like fireworks to fly out of bosses' assholes every time you use an ability. And like it needs to have a very specific color, very specific theme every time you use any one of you, even when you auto attack, even when you get to breathes, right? There needs to be a spell animation flying out of your nostrils. I don't know, but I just don't imagine like a lot of people have that like thought process, and I don't know how it would be very difficult to like give you a feel, give you a look visually, while still giving you to like talent trees to work through. You know, long time to see a dog. What's up, man? I say to my guy. Or like a firework instead of strike. Yeah, imagine, dude, imagine. I know some people would love it, but like, man, like I just can't imagine somebody is like, yes, I do want every spell animation to play all at once every time you use an ability. Like, that would look so terrible. That would look so awful. You know what I mean? Seems like a lose-lose situation. How though? Forsaken, explain to me how. I don't understand. I just explained like how you'll be able to put it together. Like what? You don't think people won't call them lazy for simple color changes? But like, what else would you need to make a Sinland? Does he need to be literally a vampire gargoyle with big old wings and every time he takes a step, thunderous quakes, right? Does he need to have a straight up first? Like, what do we need? Like, how much more would you need to do? It could be like a little flavor thing that's added to make your character look and feel a little different. But like, how much more do you expect? Like, what would be your minimum expectation? Explain to me, minimum expectation of everything that would need to do to meet a Sinland fantasy. Let's go with Sinland. Bare minimum expectation to make Sinland Death Knight feel like a Sinland. What would be your bare minimum? I need down to the T, point by point, bare minimum. What do I have to do before you're satisfied and the community is satisfied? Because I just don't really know. Like, for me, that's why I could go off as like what I think. And like red eyes for Sinland, couple of blood style animations while keeping it to the core of Unholy Death Knight, green, pestilence, undeads or whatever. That'd be fine to me. That'd be fine by me. And like, as long as the hero towns themselves add an extra mechanic, that'd be fine too. Like, but for me, that'd be just satisfactory. I would love to be a Death Knight walking around with red eyes, right? And have some like extra bloody-esque animations. I think that'd be so cool as a Blood Death Knight, right? I think that'd be great. I think it'd be awesome. And like having like the Venthyr, or like, yeah, almost like a Venthyr aesthetic or the Sinland vampiric-esque undead aesthetic. That'd be great. And I don't think they need to do a lot. Like, for me, that'll make me happy. I think it'd be pretty cool if Death Knights in general get their eyes changed depending on the spec. Oh, I don't disagree with that. I do think they're doing blue just because it's been like to the lore. But like green, blue, red, I do think that'd be cool. I wouldn't hate that. You know what I mean? Because they do have red already, like Venthyr style or like vampiric undeads. So like red would make sense. I just don't know about green. But I guess like that would work though. Right? Because at least like Necrolordy maybe. Yellow DE eyes when? I don't know about yellow, but like green I think would be fine. Yellow, what would that signify? What are these? It's not like the Jedi blades or anything, right? Are we gonna get purple? I guess at that point, like if you're gonna be doing a couple of colors, you might as well unlock all of them. Purple eyes or hazel eyes, green. I don't know. wide, glowy, ghosty eyes. Actually, that would look really cool. Yeah, but what would be a bare minimum, like point by point, exactly what would they need to do so they meets that minimum where they're not lazy? Because it's like, I don't just think you need to do a lot, right? Just honestly, it's like a visual thing to make you a little more distinct from everybody else. But like, what do you expect from them to do? Like, give you a whole new set of gear and set of armor, maybe give you an entirely new model. Like, what do you be? Like a big old gargoyle that could land that could transform into an actual full-blown vampire that stands like an Azoth with a height tall, or like as big as Ragnaros? Like, what does it need to be, man? What do you need? What do you want? Like, seriously, what would be the bare minimum then? What would make people happy at that point, right? And at that point, like, that's also another thing. Like, yeah, but what if, like, what else a barometer are we using? Are we just going off of like what the average in the community? I don't think it would be lazy to point out how the community typically reacts. No. What I need you to do is take point by point what would make you happy for bare minimum Sunland. I'm not gonna drop that. I'm not dropping it. Point by point, bare minimum. What do they need to do to make Sunland fully realized as a visual splendor that isn't lazy? What would they need to do? Everything in your wildest fantasies that needs to be there. Everything. What would make you happy? No attachment to the hero spec, I don't care. No. But like you're trying to make a point, but like what would make you bare minimum for ya? And that's the thing too. Like if we also, what are we using as like the average barometer for like what would be the bare minimum, right? Because what if somebody in the community does want to have like be able to transform into a big old gargoyle that's as tall as Ragnaros, right? And nothing else is gonna be like, nothing else is gonna meet that expectation. Like, are we actually gonna use that as like, okay, this is our like line. This is the line we would draw. Unless we can get this, nothing. Or like, should we use like what majority of the community would be happy with, which is like a couple of visual changes and like spell adjustments, right? That's the thing, because we could just keep going wilder and wilder and wilder, like the goalposts could be moving. But like, as long as they just have like some kind of like a unique identity that the art team is pretty satisfied with, all they gotta do is show it to community, because it's just like a visual thing. But as long as mechanically hero talent's there, like for the most part, I only care about mechanicals. But like, I just understand how they couldn't do the visual thing too. And I don't think that we need to do a lot either. Hey Dal, just read the blue post, 8 hero talents tomorrow. Sentinel? I am hoping, yeah, I'm hoping Sentinel. I'm hoping it's Rogue. I would like to see Fatebound. It's probably going to be Deathstalker. I would like to Temic. It's probably going to be Stormbringer. Probably Soul Harvester. I'm thinking Void Reaver. I'd like to see a Temple 2, Shadowpan Monk. Maybe Reaver for Demon Hunters. I also think you grabbed the easiest one to work with. But no. Like, that's the reason why I grabbed it. So then you could tell me, like, what is the bare minimum that you would want to see before you'd be like, nah, that's lazy or not lazy. I'm making it as easy as possible for somebody who's like, yeah, you know what, I wouldn't, if you're gonna say like, oh, you know what, all these red eyes and spell abilities and whatever, oh, that's lazy. It's like, okay, well, what would be the bare minimum? Like, what would you need to satisfy you? Just like you, not the community, you. I'm not asking the community, I'm asking you specifically. Let's go one at a time, right? Because if we just keep saying like, man, it's gotta find a way to please the entire community. There's a lot of people in the community. All of them think differently, man. There's a lot of complex individuals as part of the community, and that's like an insurmountable beast. Let's go one by one at the very bare minimum. Let's do something we could actually accomplish, right? Because I can tell you what I would want to see. You can tell me what you would want to see. We don't need to like make it like, oh man, this unfathomable beast of the community would never be pleased. It's like, no, let's go piece by piece, one by one. That's the reason why I picked Selene. It's because it's easy. But like, if you can't even like point out exactly what you would want to see on the easy one, oh, we're screwed. There's no pleasing then. There's just impossible. You know, I'm going for the easy one just because I'm trying to make a point. There's 200 Dwarf Warriors now. There's hero talents, or Slayer and Mountain Thane. There's gonna be a ton of Dwarf Warriors now. This is the 2 hero talents for Slayer and Mountain Thane. Yeah, I want to see what they will do with Slayer and Colossus and Mountain Thane and all that. Chrono Warden is miles easier than Selene. Yeah, Chrono Warden is just like, you got a little bit of bronze stuff. That's when the community will never be happy. But like, are we talking about like the actual community, or are we talking about like a loud minority? Because that's also another thing that keeps getting like confused a lot is the community versus the loud minority, because sometimes the loud minority shouts out from the tops of rooftops and you think, wow, everybody hates this thing, let's make a change, and then you get the actual community after you, right? There's been plenty of moments where like, oh man, we thought there was a big outcry about this thing, okay, we'll nerf it, and then the rest of, like, everybody were like, man, this game is super complex, I want the game to be a little bit simpler, maybe things will be actually better if like we had less abilities. And we're like, all right, we'll give you what you guys want, we'll give you the permanent battle for Azeroth, and that's where the rest of the community came out like, yo dog, we didn't want this. That's where they found out, okay, we catered to a very small, loud minority, but like the rest of the actual community that we thought we were paying attention to, but we weren't, here's the actual community, and they're unhappy. That's another thing too, like, are we talking about the community as in like the actual community, or like a small amount of people that are just very, very vocal? That's another thing, and that's, people confuse those two together often, you know? Like, I think that small amount of community is very vocal. I feel like there's always going to be a number that you will never be able to please. And if that's the kind of people we are trying to please, I don't know if they'll ever be able to achieve it. So at that point, like, as long as you hit the actual community, not the loud minority, then that'll be fine. And I feel like that's maybe even easier. But even then, like, we could just talk about from person to person, right? And that's where, like, people could give their own ideas and theories. And, like, that's what I'm asking you, because that's a person. But hiding behind the community and saying, oh, but the community should only be pleased. I'm like, I'm not asking the community. I'm asking you, what would you want to see? That's what I'm trying to get. That's what I'm trying to get, my guy. And I haven't gotten that at all. Super happy about the system means I have to system. Yeah, like the actual systems, like, I think where people are hung up about it is because of like the themes, the styles, the visual aspects of these hero classes, right? What if you visually want to look like a mountain thane as a warrior? Stout dwarf, lightning firing out of everywhere, but you're stuck playing Slayer because that's like the best option. And I think that's where people are going to be annoyed about it. I am really just looking at the hero talent trees and talents themselves and the gameplay changes they offer. And the fact that you can swap in and out of them really, really easily, I think is perfectly fine. Where a lot of people are looking at them is from like, oh, the visual aspect and then the mechanical aspect. I'm not even looking at the visual. Like, visual is a bonus for me. I'm really just looking at the mechanics more than anything. But if you look at them like here are like covenant abilities, right? And you're like, oh man, I really want to look like a Venti or Rogue and have all these Venti or abilities or whatever. Hope after you work, yeah, hopefully, man, hopefully. Af and Destro, I think will probably go a bit of an extra round or two. Honestly, man, honestly. People are going to be hella confused when I walk up of a parish out of a monk. Exactly. What do you think about DH? I like him. I think the rework has been really good. That's the thing, like, for me, I've always looked at the hero talents like, oh, it's like gameplay changes. And there's like a choice between gameplay changes. Cool. The visual side of things is like a bonus. And I don't know anybody that's like in a high-end guild right now that's like, oh man, I'm really excited for the visuals of a Dark Ranger. Everybody's talking about mechanics. Like, everybody that's raiding and everybody's doing endgame content are talking about the mechanics, and the visual is a bonus. But like, I just wonder like if it's possible to remove that visual, or split the visual away from mechanics, right? Keep two mechanically different talent trees, but then find a way to like give a visual so then like you don't have to combine the visual and the mechanics together. So you can keep the mechanics of one thing, but then just find like a way for visuals so, you know, more casual players who really care about customizations can have some fun with it, and then it won't matter, right? And I'm like I'm wondering why can't they do that? And like from this little pile of crap that we whipped up together here, like, why couldn't you do it? What would you have to do to make a frostfire work? Add a bit of frost or fire, or add a bit of the opposite element to your spells? Wouldn't that make you feel like a frostfire mage? Next question. You know what I mean? Like, how would that be difficult? Ask you, hey, visually, what do I want to look like? Cool. Here's a handful of visuals. You're still a frost mage. You just have a tinge of fire, but you're still a frost mage. You don't have to become like a whole new entity with a new animation, new model or anything, right? What are we trying to do here, right? What are we trying to do here? You know what I mean? I would like to see core abilities that match the theme of a hero spec, which is literally what I described Frostfire. Okay. To be juiced up with new animations, I really sell the idea. I'm opposite. I don't really care about the numbers. That's what I'm saying. Like, for the Frostfire, couldn't you just get a little bit of frost, a little bit of fire, and you're good to go? Because like at the end of the day, players want to play a class that gets stronger and does more damage, and you want to be able to do better at the game. And people do play the classes at like a high end. Like a lot of players, even when they play the game very casually, will still end up looking up guides for their classes. Like that didn't used to be a really thing for, I don't know, like vanilla WoW. People used to just play the classes as they were, as they are. That was it. Like way back in the day, early days. People just played. People just had fun. But like as the game went on, even your casual average player will like look up how to properly play a class, will like properly learn how to play a thing correctly. Even if they don't play it like at a super high end, like they at least can understand the concepts. Like the amount of knowledge we collected, like most average players are actually have a bit more better understanding when it comes to about the competitive side of a class and like how to really squeeze out numbers out of a class, right? And like, why? That's the question, I guess, at the end of the day. Why wouldn't they be able to, like, you know, switch the stuff over? So now that I get your point, you would want to see where hero specs themes with new animations, like actual, like, so instead of like your character just does a swing like every other, now there's a whole entire animation of a swing, or like whole another animation of an entire new spell. I don't know if they could do that. Bow shots change it. Hold on. Let's say you like the vibe of being a pack leader, but the dark range numbers are better. What abilities would you change the animation out to add animals when there are buttons more focused on the bow shots? Sorry, not enough space. Wait, let's say you like the vibe of a pack leader, but dark ranger talent tree is better. What abilities would you change the animation out to add in animals? So what I would do first is, let's say for like dark ranger, I wouldn't make a black arrow ability. I would just make it like a generic bleed ability. Generic arrow that just fired that has a bleed, right? And I make the mechanics of like, oh, random animals can join you. From, let's say you want to play your, what is it called? Pack leader. Random beasts smell blood and they come to your aid. So instead of a dark hound spawning in, you just have like a random cat joining in. Or a random wolf, or random whatever, right? Here we go. When you apply a black arrow to the target, you would get double or prey. I mean, you wouldn't have to change anything there. You would just change it from black arrow to like bleed arrow or whatever, or a beast arrow, whatever you want to call it, dude. Dark chains, instead of chains, it's a net. Instead of chains, it's like a net, or maybe like like I don't know, like a trap, and maybe that has like a chain to the enemy, or like a hook, or like a rope or whatever, right? Like a tripwire kind of deal. So visually we change that. It wouldn't change to here. That's just a damage buff. Exertion grants you a thing. You heal. I mean, that's just not visual or anything. Two shot and call or call the wild active. Your ability deals more damage or faster. You wouldn't need to do visuals there. Kill shot, a chance to generate charge of thing, or all shadow damage. I guess you could do bleed damage in your pets. Or maybe you could do this not bleed damage, but like whatever other damage that kind of matches this, because I feel like there's a lot of bleeds for Beast Mastery. Or you can scale it, right? But pets, they would need to do visuals there. When multi-shot hits a target affected by a black arrow, you burst of shadow energy erupts. So instead of a shadow energy for a beast, what's it called? A pack leader, your pet roars out, right? Your pet roars out, or maybe like a set of spikes flies in all directions. So instead of doing shadow energy eruptions, it's just like shrapnel. Shrapnel erupts out of like whatever shot you got here. Your beast shot, whatever you want to call it. And then withering fire, so instead of like black arrows firing down, it's like normal arrows. Maybe like give them like a green tinge instead of like that, like a poisonous arrow. And like, why wouldn't that work? And then you have yourself instead of like a dark black arrow, you have a beast shot, and you call on beasts, and you have random beast arrows firing and shrapnels firing everywhere. So you're more like shooty hunter, while still like having the whole animal companion aspect to yourself. Beast aspect to yourself. You know what I mean? And with circle around to my original point that we need to add animations for this abilities. I mean, Black Arrow, they already have like a bunch of different like missile, which is like what you would use for the arrow animations and like models. A bunch of missile models in the game, and you could just swap them out, right? Change the name, swap it out, you're good. Instead of summoning like an undead pet, they could change the model of which pet you summon in, you're good. Instead of like dark chains that's already in the game, you could do like a dark, like a rope or a trap or something. You already have models for traps. You already have like a rope effect to it that they're gonna do with chain. I mean, binding shot exists, right? You replace that purple tether with like a rope, and that already exists in the game. It already is there. Shrapnel, I mean, they literally have a trap animation where a trap flies up in air and then shoots shrapnel everywhere. That's already in the game. You would take the shrapnel apart minus the trap. Like, how would that be difficult? That's already in the game. That's the thing. It's already in the game. Instead of like a shadow energy, shrapnel just shoots out of all angles. Withering fire versus like normal arrows or whatever. You take that same withering fire and you change that shadowy effect to it. Green or red, orange, and you're good. Like, if you wanted like an easy, fast way of doing it, I mean, that would essentially work, right? Or remove that shadow effect. Just make it a normal arrow. But I guess we just wanted to be have more visual splendor to it. I'm not expecting for them to like change withering fires to sort of arrows. Now you're firing tigers from the sky at them, right? I'm not thinking they're gonna go that far, but like you wanted like a thing where when it sets a cooldown of the ability, you get random AoE damage, right? You don't have to go super like out of the backwards where now it's like it procs, now your character throws out a chakram and it hits everything, right? You don't need to like change it that entirely, but like it's arrows that it shoots out, so you just change the kind of arrows that you shoot and there you go, it still functions, doesn't it? Right? And change the color scheme that kind of matches this whole like animal thing or whatever. Pack leader, melee demon warlock. So we'll see what they do with it, man. We'll see what they do with it. Hold on, that's not a roll out shooting tigers. I like that. I like that. Guess we'll find out when we see more trees that have passes already animations in the game. We'll see, right? All we know from like animations is what they showed us a little bit of with Mountain Thane, and that's really it. We haven't seen any of them since. We don't know how many animations they have, and Mountain Thane looks like it has 3, right? Avatar, Thunderstomp, Stormbolt. That's it. That's the animations we've seen so far. Leap, or no leap, I guess. Four. Leap. When you leap in, there's a bit of lightning too. Like 4. And I don't think they need to have every ability is now just explodes with lightning, but like a handful of them that really make you stand out. I think that'll be perfectly fine. I think there'll be nothing wrong with it, and I feel like that will work pretty well. It makes you feel like a Mountain Thane, but you're still a Prot Warrior or a Fury Warrior, right? You're still going to be bloodbathing and rampaging, right? There's still going to be that core identity when you pop out your, what is it, your fire blades or whatever they're called. What are they called? I'm going to be hung up on this unless I look it up. Odin's Fury ability, right? It has this fire effect to it or whatever. You're still going to have those animations, but then some of your abilities are going to be tinged with lightning. And like, I think that'll be perfectly fine. And when you avatar, you have like little bits of lightning just poking out of your character as your big colossus. I think that'd be dope. I think it'd be perfectly cool. Like that, I feel like to me that'll be enough. It doesn't have to be like super transformative, give me a whole new model, whole new set of animations, whole new array of everything, right? It's just not realistic. But like you don't need a lot to make you feel like a Mountain Thane is what I think. But I don't know. I guess it all depends. I think at the end of the day, like who you use as a barometer for like bare minimum. What would the game need to do, or what devs need to do bare minimum to be able to achieve that feel? And like you ask one person, like they probably don't need a lot. You ask another person that might need some more, and you ask another person that need a whole revamp, literally a WoW 2 with a fresh new code of paint, fresh new written code that plays like a whole nother game entirely. That's an entirely new visual palette and visual identity, and like that'll be the bare minimum for them, or it's trash. And like there's just no way to meet that. That's what I mean. Like when you're talking about, well, the community won't be happy. What part of the community we're talking about? Like real community or like vocal minority? Because the vocal minorities exist. And that's the thing you don't want to hit, is like try to appease the vocal minority, because then you'll actually piss off the actual majority. And they've done that more than once. That's the thing. Like we got to identify like who is the majority, who is the community. Because like a lot of the times people do misidentify them pretty often. It happens so often where I'm like, I have to be like, whoa. Just take a breather. Let's pause. What do you mean by that? And if you don't have a good answer, like, I don't know, man. I just don't know. Just throw this out there. There's an extensive WoW ability library, and people think they're being long and hard for Blizzard to add new animations. They're just overthinking. There is a pretty big library. That is true. Like the devs and the art department that makes animations and stuff, like they work their asses off and they do really, really cool stuff. I mean, the entire thing of Evoker with a lot of the abilities that they've done with augmentation, devastation, preservation, but also the animations of this entire expansion have been awesome. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff that they've added, and it definitely takes a lot of time for them to really get it right, but they do a really, really good job. That is said, though, yes, there is a big library that Jake does point out. There is a pretty big library. There's a lot that could be utilized, right? And on one hand, like, I guess you could look at, oh, they're reusing a thing that's lazy, but also that's part of the core of video game development from like the inception, finding how to maximize the most out of everything you have, right? It's not about adding more, it's about maximizing and transforming the things you already have and really squeezing the most out of them. That has been core of the game development. And like, I don't know, that's about it. Legit auto text someone on accident, and my evoker was like, oh, I didn't know evoker said this animation. Let me know. Yeah, even evokers have like a whole array of animations. So there's a whole bunch of them. If you want to see like all the character animations everybody has, man, you can just go to like WoW dressing room and just look at all of them. It's today or tomorrow? Tomorrow. I think we'll be doing a stream on it. I'll probably have a video on it before that. Depends when they release it. Honestly, I hope this gets big enough. When Blizzard talks about it, I'd love to hear what they think. I'm sure they'll get a comment, but like at the end of the day, what I am, and a lot of people around me at the very least, like people that play in my guild, friends of mine, right? People that push keys, people that PvP, people that do raids, people that play their classes are like fairly high end, I'd say. A lot of them are excited for the hero specs, like mechanics. Not necessarily like the visual is a bonus, but like the mechanics is what a lot of people are very focused on. And that's just people around me, man. You know? But like, I raid. We killed Farak and Mythic. We surround ourselves with usually around people that also do high-end raiding, right? Friends, guildies, whatever, right? Mythic Plus, PvP. Like, that's just the crowd that I'm surrounded by. And a lot of people that I've talked to are talking about mechanics of these hero talents. The visual is a bonus. But like, I just don't see a way how they couldn't like take the visual, make it its own choice, take the mechanical talents and make it their own choice. Right? Like they're easy to swap in and out of, and all you have to do is just like, well, what are they doing visually to make Mountain Thing work? They're literally taking animations that are already in the game, adding a lighting effect to them. And for a lot of people, like based on responses, like they're actually excited just to play a Mountain Thing for the looks of it. And like we'll see more for sure, but like again, like I said, they have a pretty big library of abilities they could work with. Like there's a lot of voidy abilities in the game, so like make it a Void Reaver where Shadowplace does even more voidy stuff. Like it's not really out of the realm of possibilities, right? It's not really out of the realm of possibility where they need to make an entirely new animation when there's like, have you seen Sarkareth and the amount of voidy stuff that's happening in that fight or as is, right? There's so much void going on there. You could just take parts of it, right? And apply that for a Shadow Priest, and that would really make you like a Void Weaver, because you're literally tapping into the void itself, and it looks really good too. As usual, enjoying the content. Thank you so much, Abid. Appreciate you. I think more of an inkling of like a flavor of hero specs for the mechanics or side effect. I'm the opposite, really. So you like the flavor? Yeah. I just don't know if people are looking at them as a flavor, you probably will be disappointed because they were like Shadowlands Covenants. That's how this whole topic even started. It was like Shadowlands Covenants were like, oh, I want to be a Venti or Vampiric Rogue. Too bad you kind of have to play Kyrian because that is the best one. You have to play Nightfade because they get the better soul tree. But like, you don't like the environment, you don't like the trees in the woods and the fairies they hang out with, you don't like the gear that they offer, you don't even like how Sepsis looks. But you have to play it because it's best, right? So I think that's where people are going to be disappointed. Like they want to feel like a mounted thing, but they have to play Colossus because it's actually the better one. Right? When I'm looking at the mechanics and the talent and stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, well, at least there's like, you could choose and switch between them as much as you want to, right? So let's say you use one for one piece of content, one for another piece of content, whatever, and there's a bit of variety, and there's a nice bit of visual to it. Cool, but like, I'm more looking at the mechanics behind them. But yeah, but like, why couldn't they separate the two, right? Oh, Sunland Death Knight, I'll give him like enough things to make him feel like and look like a Sunland. But then mechanically give like the talent tree Sunland and call it something else, mechanically Sunland talent tree, or Dark Rider of the Apocalypse talent tree. Visually you can select between Rider or Sunland, and then mechanically you'll be able to select between two talent trees, and they don't have to be linked to each other. Like, why couldn't they do that? Seriously. Zero high end but not top end. I mean, yeah. I don't know, man. Let's do some WoW stuff. Let's actually go play WoW. I feel like I talked about it so much, but I just don't know why they couldn't like, why they couldn't do the visual thing, and then they could do a, you know, not visual thing, the mechanical thing. I feel like they could do both, and I feel like it could be done pretty easily. Like I just don't. Yeah, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it, I guess. That's the best way to put it. You know what I mean? I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around it. Let's actually play WoW. Key time? I think it is key time. I think I want to do the mage. Unless I just do like the weeklies. Either one of those two. Either that or another. Arena time. If Caneric is on, man, I'd do arenas. Yeah, if Caneric is around, I'd do arenas. But otherwise I want to play mage. Let me also get the fan going too. Kirby. But at the end of the day, dude, I just don't know why they couldn't do the separate the visual and then, you know, keep the different talent trees there. Like, it's already there. It's already in the game files. I have the animation for Mountain Thane, but like make it like separate from the talent tree. Right? So you can look like a Mountain Thane, but still use the talent tree of a Slayer. And like, I don't think there'll be issues either. Also, I got myself Iridel. I just did a little bit more, what's it called? Just a little bit more Wormcrest just to upgrade it fully. And I also have Nimue and I have Pips. I have a full set. This character has actually been a ton of fun, man. Actually, just a big blaster. So if you want to war through us, we can do some keys, man. What key levels are you doing right now? Actually, at 458, you're probably not really doing some like high-end keys at all, do you? So we could maybe push up like one of my keys or something. Because still need like, what is it? Just a little bit more crests anyway. But yeah, I've been doing keys with this guy recently. It's actually really fun. I want to try to see if we can get like over 14 at some point. Iridel, dude, it's actually so good. I don't know how well it works in like execute. I don't know if like every, like, so it says, attempt to finish off a weakened enemy doing a bunch of nature damage. Damage done to an enemy below 35% health. Deal damage to enemies below 35% health. Reduces the cooldown of the effect by 1 second. I don't know like if I press missiles, right? And every wave of missiles shaves it off one by one. Or if it's just like the entire spell of missiles does it. Set on CD? Yeah, just set on CD. But like, I just don't know the cooldown reduction of it though. That's like the only thing I don't know. Probably do 15, 16. Oh yeah, we'll try to see if we can sign up for one. Where are you? You light forging that thing? Wait, what? Yo, toss me an invite if you got a spot. I don't know if you're in a queue or not, but we can do some now. I have a I didn't push up my key at all. I've been doing someone else's keys, but like I have a lot of tall. But like we could probably just join one because I've been doing keys here. But not the highest score ever, but I try to see if I can push it up little by little. There we go. If you want to pass lead, I can try to see if I can just sign this up for a bunch of keys. Or yeah, that'll work. So 15, 16 you said? Dark Heart. I don't know. I'll just try to pick keys that are like score maybe. While trying to clean these up a bit. I really want to see a BRH somewhere. If possible. Let's do 15, 16. Just to knock 14s out of the way. Just because that's not really going to give either of us score. Galakrun's Fall is decent. That'd be pretty easy. Thought Mount is evoker. I thought Mount was an evoker. Wait, what? What do you mean? Oh, mine? Oh yeah, I'm just writing evoker. You mean this guy? I mean this guy? Yeah, that's an evoker right there. Have you seen the evoker? Is Atal good? Atal is a good key. Atal actually has one of your better trinkets too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What is this PvP gear you got going? Yeah, Atal has a really good trinket. Alright, I'll do this. I'll open it back up to like 15, 14, whatever. Because I don't know if we'll be able to get into 16, but like, yeah. Do I need a black record? 14, already done one. Rise. I need like a Waycrest, Tides, Everbloom, Fall, Atal. Okay, so there's actually quite a few then. There could be maybe a keyboard doing. Was that curse thing? I don't know, man. I don't know. Seem good, dude. Yeah, that thing, dude. That thing. Yeah. Mikey as well. Oh, I guess we could do that too. I'll see if I can just sign up for a couple here and there. We'll just see what we get. See if we get any bites. Because I am a mage. And like if you have a decent enough item level, like they probably won't like question your gear. But yeah, those trinkets gotta go, man. Those double haste proc trinkets, those things gotta go. You're gonna need real trinkets at some point. Rise, I mean that's core. Double PvP trinkets, all my damage, dude. Yeah, no, you have to get like actual trinkets. The PvP trinkets are, they're alright, but like they're not great. They're not great. You really want, I think you would want the trinket from Atal, and trinket from Rise at the end of Rise is also pretty decent. It's a 3-minute cooldown, so it doesn't quite line up with all UCDs. You want something every minute, but that one's okay. What is another good trinket for Paladin? You can't PvP with PvP gear. I mean, you can. It's just it's got to be like, it's not gonna have that scaling tech implemented. So like if you have a bunch of PvP items, right? Like he's got tier piece, but like it doesn't scale to like be higher item level or anything. You're just not gonna get that. But like it works. It is an item. You can use it. It just doesn't have that scaling aspect. So, but like you just gotta get higher item level just doing like PvE content and getting PvE gear for the most part. Like what was the Conquest gear? It was like 454. Yeah, like you could get higher item level than those just for doing like keys. Like I guess the start. You got 472 cloak. You got a good nag. That's actually really good. That's actually solid. And you got a primary stat on that thing. So that's good. Mythic. There we go. Yeah. So you just got to replace a couple of those items. But like as soon as you replace these two, like you'll be fine. What are some of the better Paladin trinkets right now? Actually, let me look them up. Trinkets you're gonna want, ideally, are where's Red Pally? There it is. Gear. Ashes. Oh, this is gonna be hard. But Ashes is a pretty good one. Augury, if you could get your hands on one, and Branch. Those are pretty really good. But I'm sure Dungeon Trinket's also pretty good too, right? There's gotta be more. The one that shows. Bunch of good ones for Pally. Yeah, there's a lot of them. The Paladins don't have like the worst trinkets out there. All very solid. Hunter is now for 40, by the way. SCV bow. Nice. Hey, let's go, dude. Hell yeah. I also got the SCV book. I need to do a Nomer at some point this week. For I think Wednesday. Man, dude, plugging Nomer has been actually a little bit sad. Not gonna lie. A little bit sad. You know why? It's just not as puggable. Like, yeah, you could do it, but it's not nearly as puggable. Is it just me? It just doesn't feel nearly as puggable. Oh wait, where's the okay, never mind, I can't find it. Go back. Go here. I don't even know where I was in mix here. We'll go with this then. Me and this group recorded 100 kills on SCV event. Yeah, dude. Yeah, getting 100 kills is not that bad though. You know what? Let's go big pull. I probably should have done this, but it's okay. Oh, he wasn't shielded. That's unfortunate. Oh, okay. Guy's down. Oh, no. Oh, no. Poor guy. Oh yeah, I love me some Arcane, man. It's been such a fun spec to play recently. Absolutely just a blast. Except this. Except her. She's not that fun to play into. Me and the group, yeah. I mean, me and my chicks were running around. I don't even know how many we got there when we were running it, but you could definitely get quite a bit. Let's see if I can kick him really quickly. Make it a little bit easier for us as a group. I really want to set up something here. I don't think I could nuke him, so we gotta go with this guy, Magus. I feel like I got a lot better at juking this guy because he was super annoying when I was initially starting out on this guy. Much easier though. But yeah, STV, if you just hang out by like, you know what you gotta do? Hang out by Zul'Gurub with that turn in, and then the guards honestly can just like get pulled over. The guards come often get pulled over to where like the rest of the players are turning in their resources, and that can make it much easier for you just to get free kills, man. It's actually wild just how good it is. There we go. Big clear cast and proc. Love it. Wish I had like a full go here. Actually, I do. Just won't have lust. Okay, tank. Do your thing. Tank? There we go. Just say for a second, like hopefully I don't die there. That'd be awful. I want to have a full go here if I can. Okay. To go to blast him. Oh yeah. Dude, that feels so much better to play now. My damage has gotten a little better on this thing. I've been gearing, I've been putting in work on this thing. I'm still not great with my cooldown management, but man, does it feel good. That was a normal hit too. That was nutty. How could it hit for a couple mil there? Or maybe, at least like maybe like one? One if you were to double it? That would have been so good. I don't know if I want to like pop cooldowns here. I feel like I want to, but I don't know if I really can. I think at this point I'm just gonna hold. I know that everybody's playing Fire Mage nowadays, but like Arcane is actually incredibly fun. Definitely give it a try if you're looking to play Mage at some point. Like the max apex damage you can do is so fun to pull off. And it's all about like using abilities and put them together. Not an easy spec to get into, but definitely give it a try. I really hope somebody comes up with like an easy Arcane Mage build that's like super easy to get into dungeons with. Because I think like the combos and lining up big cooldowns together I think for new players a bit much, but like if you're playing more casually, the orb barrage combos are incredibly fun. Like that alone could just be an absolute blast. Ah, I should have kept going forward. Dude, am I just... Should I just wait? Almost open, okay. Yeah, I just was no shot I was gonna be able to get that ever. I'm just struggling. Hope I have like a full set of cooldowns for the next group. For the next go, whatever. Yeah. That was definitely like a proper setup there at all. I feel like the spec could still be kind of sort of forgiving sometimes. Very, very rarely. Oh, Chad, there's a small chance that I may not be playing Rogue for the next expansion, depending on what we need, like team composition wise. But it's like a very, very, very tiny chance I may not be playing Rogue. I'm a little bit like excited. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm not any of these things. I'm just dead. Dude, I hate that about Arcane. The amount of aggro you can get within a second is just... It's just unreal. That's just unreal. I hate that so much. Like, please, tanks. Dude, I haven't been able to find tanks that can actually, like, hold aggro properly. At all. Like, playing this class specifically just cannot hold aggro. Like there I just like what hit AoE, like smallest AoE ever. That was gonna AUG confirmed. I wasn't gonna at some point play AUG this expansion or this patch for this tier. That looked like it was a possibility because we were looking at the time for like a good AUG, and like I was the only person in the guild that even like had fun playing AUG. So I even had bare understanding of what AUG is really like and what you must do to play AUG. But yeah, it's maybe enhancement shaman or maybe something. I don't really know. It all depends like what we need for a roster, for a comp. But not 100%. I'm kind of hoping Rogue will still be like an incredibly good spot, so it's just like I can stay on that thing. Or if there's like a powerhouse in AoE, oh yeah, if you get yourself a proper setup as a ret, yeah, you can do a lot. Big damage on that thing. But also, I feel like you also get to feel like a powerhouse because I'm just dead, so I can't even like kill anything. So it's really down to you to kill stuff. I don't really get to. It's just so sad. I just want to hit stuff, man. I just want to hit stuff. Okay, I'm gonna go after the Horde Destroyer. I think I can blast it real quickly. I feel like this whole mobs here, the fact that it could be AoE, I feel like that could probably be cheese some way somehow. Just not sure yet how. Is that what you're gonna play? It's just like we're trying to figure out like, we're just trying to figure out what like we're gonna be doing as a guild, right? Trying to make sure we have a strong roster going to the next expansion. So it's like, we're just talking about it. I mean, again, it might just be down like how this tier has worked out, right? We were talking about me potentially playing AUG, but I never actually get around to playing AUG. So it might be one of those things, honestly. Who knows, really? It's a little bit of an unknown for now. I don't know if I want to pop cooldowns now or not. We got CDs. I'll probably just lost us. Ow. There we go. That felt great. You should just get back to Mythic rating. I should get back to the Mythic rating. Dude, it's actually been kind of fun. Like this tier, not an easy one, but did have good times. We definitely had good times this tier, is what I'll say. Like it's been good moments. Definitely been good moments. Tindril, Farak, that's a lot, almost 1,000 pulls in between those two. But outside of that, actually really good raid so far. And like the last raid was pretty good for the most part, except for like last two bosses. Well, no, there was some bosses in between that were kind of whatever. Vault is pretty fun too, though. Like Mythic raiding with a good group, like, yeah, it's actually so super enjoyable. It's a lot more fun when you're like trying to go for like top 100 or whatever, right? Or even going for a Hall of Fame, just having that drive and starting people, you yourself with other people that have the same drive. This time we didn't get around to doing that, but like the drive was still there, right? We really wanted to do it. Last proper race at Elms and Taurus, but otherwise it was chill Mythic rating till Nyalotha. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Nia was pretty fun too. That was pretty fun too. Shadowlands, even the first raid, Nathria was really solid. Like a lot of people enjoyed that one. I don't think we're skipping this, are we? Oh no, just get slapped. Yeah, but yeah. Oh, bomber run. Yeah, the bomber run is what really kills people if you get up too close. That bomber run is deadly. I still do the first set of bosses for the vault, obviously, but no one boss pushing these days. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I do hope they end up doing like what they did for this first few early bosses of, I want to say it was Palace back in BFA. Like making some of the entry bosses a little bit easier to get into. I don't think it was the worst, you know? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, no, the res here is atrocious, man. Let me tell you. It is bad. You may be able to go here and just get killed by that guy and let us res you. Where's the platform? There. So maybe if you go left or right, instead of like left all the way around, back over in the middle. Wow, it actually has to go pretty far. Look, you go from this platform down to that platform, down to up here, or then up to this platform up here, then all the way down to this platform here. Like it's so far away. Suppose made Behemoth look like it was last positive times. Dude, yeah, like Behemoth and all that, like up to Behemoth, everything was like very easy doable on Mythic. Like you could totally do it on Mythic. It wasn't difficult. And I feel like maybe that's what they could do is like some of the entry level bosses, even on Mythic, make it puggable. Like, what's the worst about it? Make it puggable. Like, why not? It'll give players like a way to dip their toes in, get a bit of gear, right? Maybe they're like, you know what, they have fun with it. They like the challenge. They want to look for a guild. They get into a guild, and you're vibing from there, right? Like, what is the worst that could happen out of it? I don't think there would be a lot of bad out of it. Giving players a bit of a taste of like Mythic rating. Wait, is it actually just going? Where are you right now? I don't even know. Oh, there you are. Dude, that was like a whole like 2 minutes of wait, I think. I think all my cooldowns are back up and everything. Like, we're vibing. Oh, she's so annoying with this fight, by the way. Like the way that you had to do it. The whole more cheese thing and how you lose target of her. It is the worst. Is that her? Yeah, that is her. And she's not even like real. She's like a image or whatever. And I can't even tell what my touch of the magi is with her at all. Almost like it's better just to like maybe pop cooldowns after she does the dragon phase. And maybe that's the play, honestly. Just to do the whole more cheap play way after the dragon phase. Uh-oh. Oh, that could have been bad. Like the fact that you lose target when she transforms, that is the worst. That I hope they fix that because that's just super annoying. Although I feel like everything been puggable, barring Tyndall for Rack Mythic. That's been a balance of DF slap for me. Wait, well that's bang on for the balance DF slap for me. Hell yeah, dude. Is it puggable? Mythic first few bosses. I haven't done the Mythic pugs on those bosses at all. I don't think like Volocross is difficult. I don't think the first boss necessarily is difficult as long as people put their orbs in the right spots or the AoE big circles to get as many ads as possible. Second boss also is pretty puggable, I imagine. It is just a lot of damage that goes out, but I haven't like tried to pug it. I think heroic everything is puggable, all of it. Normal, heroic, all puggable. As long as you know like what mechanics you gotta watch out for. But yeah, Mythic though, that's a different story. If you mean like Mythic, yeah, I guess. I don't know. First two bosses on Mythic are pretty rough. Heroic, different story though. But yeah, balance has definitely been like it's nice to just be able to go through a full rated on Heroic. Like as long as you know mechanics are chilling. Southbreak game on Switch is 25, but the old one is 20, 50. Is it them pricing it? Because I don't know if it's Switch pricing or it might be the people pricing like the new game, like whoever's behind it. But honestly, like wouldn't you want to spend less money for a new game, especially if it has the same amount of content? You know, or if it's smaller in content. I don't remember. Is that the first person or third person shooter one? Is that the one we're talking about? Or like the Stick of Truth or whatever? Or is it superhero one? Oh god, every time, man. Every time. Oh, it's taking me forever to do this, by the way. Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, I kind of messed up my go there. But it's okay. I probably didn't need to commit that many cooldowns there. I should have had a better setup though. Like if I am gonna commit. So just try blinking into his thing. You know what? I see why people go ice flows. So you have a little bit more control of where your character is going. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Superhero 1 is 15. But the one that comes out on March, April apparently is should play Stick of Truth, hopefully. Apparently should play like Stick of Truth, hopefully. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean if it's cheaper, that's fine. Honestly. That's not the worst. Especially if it like has exactly like as much content as that one had. And like the jokes are just as good. But I imagine like the jokes and the humor are all gonna be fantastic. Because they keep doing a good job with it. Right? Definitely quite a bit of creative freedom behind that. Actually, you know what? With how long it's taken us to have a go here, I might just be able to have everything up. Because I got a vacation coming back up. Think. I kind of was a little late, wasn't I? A little bit. Probably should have swapped that over to the ad. This one just blasting him, I think. I don't think I can do the ad. I think what I'll do is at this point I'll just bank my cooldowns a little. Oh, did anybody watch the Rick Grimes show? Apparently that's out right now. Okay, what I'll do is this. We'll do this. Oh god. We'll blast him. That was not a great position by me at all. That was awful. Nice. That was pretty fun. We got Thieves Gambit. I don't even know if that was good, but we have it. Wait, maybe that's actually good. I'll sim it, but I don't think it is. Yeah. There we go. Port. Yeah. Port up. Same exact gloves. At least you got a little bit of that crest too. So that'd be like an item you could maybe upgrade. There's nothing like Signature Sag. Yeah, there's not a lot, man. There's nothing. Yeah, isn't it a first-person shooter? Or a third-person shooter? I was pretty sure. So it might be a small game, like in general. But who knows, really. I feel like my damage would be a little higher, but I imagine it would be better if I didn't die that one time. If I didn't just get smacked right in the face. I mean, actually, I don't think I want to use 2 on uses, do I? Borrow power from alternate timeline to gain haste. To trigger a paradox. I wonder if that's better than the mastery that I have, but I doubt it. Okay, let's see if we can go up for another one. Do another 15. What leech, is leech a stat you want in your gear? Leech is a stat you can get in your gear. It's like a tertiary stat, yeah. Leech is a stat that you can obtain. Oh, you lead. You lead. See, the damage red has a good trick. It's the best gear. Oh no, red does a lot of good damage, man. Red does a lot of good damage. I think you'll have fun with it. And I could use. Just did rise. Could use a tall. Black Hold is fine. I don't know if we'll get in. I'll just send up either way though. Throw a Tide is a good one. I'll try to see if we can send up for a couple 80s. Yeah, well, Leech is a stat you can like randomly roll. I feel like maybe they should have changed professions so you could like apply Leech to an item that doesn't have Leech, right? How good would it have been? Because it's a good stat, right? It's a really good stat for healers in particular, because that just means like less healing they gotta do to others, because every time they heal, they also get leech a portion of their own healing that's outgoing, damage and healing, so like less self-healing needed. Throne of the Tides would be pretty good since Versa Int. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But maybe Pips is really good too. Who knows? I have no clue. I have no idea. This is just like a little bit more Flystones though. Did nobody get those upgrade things crafted for PvE gear? Yeah, like if you want to get like upgrade crafted gear. Are you talking about these things? They're called nascent crests. So you basically convert your worm crest. I wouldn't use a worm crest for it specifically. I would just use those to upgrade your items them. And then I would mostly just bank them for the aspect crests if you end up using them. But like, yeah, don't use them on nascents. Use them on these things. Titan training matrix sold by enchanted vendors. Used for enchants to recreate Titan. Oh, okay. That's like for other upgrade stuff. To create Titan Training Matrix 5 sold by enchanting vendors. Okay. Wait, is that useless nowadays? Titan Training Matrix 5? I imagine it's pretty useless nowadays. But yeah, Trinket, that one's like, what, 30% uptime? It's pretty good for the amount of stats that it offers. It's generally really, really good. But yeah, I feel like my damage there would have been a little bit better if I didn't die. That one dead dude set me back quite a bit. Like, cause how old were we doing there? Trash, we're doing okay-ish. Boss did alright. Trash here was a little behind. Boss we were okay. Morchi trash, actually I was super behind. Wow. Never mind, maybe my damage is actually perfectly fine. I think I'm just not sending like CDs on ads as well as I could be. So for Nascent, yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. And then make your 2 embellishments with those. That's what I would do. Starting Mage and Classic. Yo, have fun, man. Are you gonna play the Healing Mage or like Fire Mage and just like Living Bomb everything? Because Living Bomb Fire Mage is nuts in Mythic, I was gonna say Mythic Plus, in dungeons. It is so good. You can just like AoE grind with a bunch of casters, just Nova things, Cone of Cold. Nothing can overtouch you and you just like nuke it. It's so good. It's really, really good. You just tab, Living Bomb, tab, Living Bomb, tab, Living Bomb. And there's even a macro you can do like where you won't re-tab to the person you just tapped through. So we'll be looking for a new target until it cycles through all of them. And then it'll go back to like new, the old target. So then you're never putting Living Bomb on like the same person ever. Flame regen, solo leveling build. Living Bomb flame regen? Okay, I have no idea what that is. Or I mean like Living Bomb plus the flame and a heal build. I guess it could work too. Yeah, I was thinking originally just play Mage and play Classic, but yeah, I don't know, man. Initially I wanted to play it, but it just, I don't know. Oh, they might have removed the one mix I used to listen to. That's kind of sad. Living Flames, since Living Flames Arcane plus Fire. Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah, I just hit 400 haste. Yeah, with double trinkets that you have, you're probably gonna hit that 400 haste easily. It will take you like nothing. Yeah, I can see it. I can imagine it. I already have a 14 Dark Heart, right? So like, we need a Wake Rest, man. There's not a lot of good keys. I don't even know what your score is, by the way. That'll probably help a little. Password required? Oh no, dude. Oh no, no, no. Let's try this one. Try Everbloom, maybe? Hey, this mix is a little sad. I kind of want to switch it up a little.
Guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. And if I fall,
wait, that is the mix. That is the mix. They just gave it like a fully new thumbnail. That's weird. No wonder I couldn't find it. But yeah. Also probably should start using potions and stuff. I feel like I kind of want to see if I can... What is your item level on that thing? Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't be that behind in damage review. I gotta figure out what I did wrong there. Now I want to be competing, dude. Now we're gonna be competing. Now we're gonna be fired up, dude. I'm gonna try. Like, what do we got? Tides? I'm trying. I feel like I need a defensive every time I do my opener, man. Every time I just draw so much aggro. It's wild, man. It's wild. It's a brewmaster? Oh no, dude. I feel like the only tank that I've been able to play with properly so far that can kind of sort of draw aggro quickly is a paladin. Just because they run in, throw shields in every direction, snap aggro, insta. Even demon hunters, it feels like it takes like a second. Like with that guy, I feel like it would be great at snap aggro. No. Even that takes a second. Wait! Did you see that? Hold on. I don't know if you noticed it, but I was actually just still flying. While in the back of my dragon, underwater. I was still flying. I used like a rush ability at the very, very end. And I looked up here, and still just gave me like that, like dragon riding flight. That was wild. It was so good though. If you set up a big burst and pop grade to invis all the time, I guess is what I gotta do. But it's just, it feels so bad to like press my button and then I immediately gotta press grade and invis, or I gotta press like mirror image or something. Like, it's like I have limited globals to do my full burst and it just feels awful, man. You know, it just doesn't feel great. Because I'm just trying to like not draw aggro. Maybe I gotta give him like a second, because that was a problem also I was having on my evoker too. I had to give the tank like a second, right? Give him a second to set up. So in the opener, I'll just go like with evocation. I'll go with that Nimue spindle, right? And that'll give him like a second to set up, second to set up, second to set up. And then I'll go into my full combo. But it's like the way you gotta do it as a mage is very precise, very specific. So maybe I'll just do that. Pre-alter first time I go ham. Maybe that's what I should do, is just pre-alter, go ham, and then alter in case I'm getting aggro. But I feel like there I can still get blasted. Amber alert. Huh. Oh. Yeah. I like this. Oh yeah, wait, can I get panda? Oh my god, you can see the butt crack. Wait, that actually looks really cool too. Or no, I guess I'm back to Blood Elf. Well, wow, atomically calibrated. Awesome. Wow. Such variety. Great. Oh, that's in your basement? Oh, come on, man. Come on, Doug. Okay. Please pull bigger. Please go more than just 2. We can do more than just 2. Please pull more tank. Oh no, dude, this tank. Okay. Well, maybe they'll pull more. Or I guess we'll just have to do it like this. I've been trying to save my cooldowns for like the big go, actual go. But they're just not gonna let me. That's fine. Not upset by it or anything. Why is he only putting like 3 at a time? What is happening? Because you could go bigger than this, my guy. Come on, big guy. You could do more than this. Because you normally just pull all of them and you lust. But I guess I'm just not lusting. I guess at this point I won't. I was thinking maybe that'll pull him. Yeah, this is a weird pull, man. Everything we're doing here is pretty weird. Everything so far has been kind of weird. Get in search after Tom? Yeah. Wait, after Tom? What do you mean, Palm? Presence of mind? Who's Tom? What did Tom tell you? I need to know now. I feel like I'm almost like a jealous girlfriend, like, who's Tom? Who is this Tom you talk about? I don't know, what should I lust, man? I don't even know. Should I lust this one? Like, if it pulls everything, maybe I'll lust and just go. Yeah, dude, this dungeon so far is slow. Normally you pull like the entire row. Here, a tank usually pulls big. He's gonna pull these two and that's it, right? Yeah, he's gonna pull these two and just hold it. Man, this is just not gonna work, guy. This dungeon is just not gonna work for me, man. Unless I do this. And that's kind of fun. He's gonna pull like 2 mobs at a time. It's gonna be just like actually kind of sad. Man, I have like a go here. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna pull them, right? Let them run over. Invis. Then we're gonna have ourselves actual go. Now we get a blast. Now we actually get to do some damage. Now we're doing stuff. Give myself a shield. Hopefully we'll be vibing. Yeah, we're vibing. Yeah, now is an actual pull. But I'm still holding on to lust. I just haven't got to use it at all. So I guess we got to use it on the boss then? Which kind of works, but like kind of blows too. Not really how you want to do it. My cooldowns are all kinds of weird now. Because I have to send stuff in weird times that I just don't really know what to do. Honestly. I'm just gonna aggro. Fun. Tank, take aggro off me, please. Okay, I guess we pull her too. I didn't mean to. Okay, well, we can have a go at her though. This could work, actually. Hold on. This will work fine. This will work okay. Just don't take them too far apart from each other. But, like, this could work. Well, I mean, that guy was gonna die, but it's okay. This will work still. Maybe he's just worried about, like, the bolster. Maybe that's why he doesn't want to do it. But, like, if everything gets pulled, everything could die evenly. Like, that'll work out just fine. Please tell me he's gonna do a big pull. Or like a decent pull, maybe. Maybe? Left? Or just them by themselves? Okay. Okay, and I should have some stuff coming up soonish. Hopefully. I think actually, maybe I'll just save cooldowns for that whole group. I think that's what I'll do. I think that's what I'm just gonna take it easy. Try this burst, spark, or barrage, then rotation. Wait, what? Spark. What's spark? Spark. Tempest? I don't even know what spark is. Honestly, I'm a little lost. I mean Radiant Spark. Oh, okay. I mean, that's usually what I do for my setup. I guess I could have just thrown orb a little earlier there. That is one change sometimes do, is throw orb a little earlier. How's it called? Yeah, actually, it took me a second. I always called it the Kyrian ability. That's why I don't like when you say spark. I'm like, what? That's not what it out as. I just called it the Kyrian ability, the ambiguous curing ability. Yeah, that one. That's what I know it as. So that's my B. That's my fault. That's my fault. I'm the one that's confusing here. That's not you. It is spark. It is called Radiant Spark. I'm just so used to call it Kyrian. Like even the A-bomb limb, I just call it groupie hands. That's all I call it. Like that's what it is in my mind. Groupie hands. That's it. It doesn't have any other name. Groupie hands. So when like A-bomb limb, I'm like what? A-bomb limb. The what? Groupie hands. Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Man, I got Lust too and a PI and everything. Okay, I guess we gotta Lust with the ads come out, right? That should be out soon, right? I think. Yeah. Blast it. I'm gonna blast this guy real quick. I'm gonna die. Tank. Okay. Get rid of haste buff or whatever it is. Nice. Yeah, it took me a little bit of a setup there to make that work. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up getting more aggro again, aren't I? Oh yeah, yeah. Unless I use it on her, and then she doesn't hit that nearly as hard. I mean, she's still gonna hit really, really hard, but not nearly as badly. Doing that buff. Think I'm okay? Yeah, I am okay. Okay. So then what is it? It's first, so Arcane Surge, you mean? Or Spark? Orb. Barrage. The TOM, the normal rotation. Oh, like TOM. Touch of Magic. Oh, Touch of Magic. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I don't touch the magic. I get it now. Can you tell I'm really, really good at Mage? Really good at Mage. Hold on, I can do this. I gotcha. Yeah, this dungeon in particular I've done, I feel like, one too many times with a trinket. I feel like my cooldowns here are mostly okay. Mostly. Except for like at the very beginning, that wasn't great though. Like with all the ads or whatever, not great at all. Come on, man. Yeah, that one, it's a little weird. Like I didn't really have like, or did I have everything there? It's a little weird because stuff does end up desyncing after a while. Like my Muse Spindle is a 2-minute cooldown, whereas Vacation is 1.5-minute cooldown. But because of Shift and Power, it actually is shorter than that. So everything is like all kinds of wacky. I don't get to combine like everything together. You'll type DPS for the entire dungeon. True. Yeah, for the overall, yeah, I gotta find a way to fight through that. I'm gonna guess this guy's only gonna pull like maybe other mobs, maybe? Is he gonna pull those guys? He's pulling them now. He doesn't really get a choice anymore. Try to see if I can just blast everything here for the next few pulls. Some Jake pulls a proper AA windows. True. That is true. Yeah, my AA windows are definitely all kinds of out of whack. Yeah, we gotta set up like a decent go here. And zap him. I gotta use my weapon a lot more often. That's what I really gotta do. Well, hold on. Okay, that's a little wonky, but it'll work. Yeah, very, very wonky overgo, but it'll work. Not amazing by any measure. Also, I wish our Arcane Mage 2 target was a little bit stronger than it is. Because all I can really do is just, like, cleave. That's really about it. I mean, cleave is still really, really good, but, you know. Wish I had an actual go here for full CDs. See if we can cook something up here. Nice. Okay, that'll work. Catching up a little bit, I think. I'm actually trying to see if I can, like, combat you. We're actually neck to neck right now. Hold on. Actually neck to neck. Worthos, I'm actually gonna try for the next few pulls, man. I'm actually gonna try. I'm hoping I don't die. That's like the thing that is gonna kill me here. It's just death. That's gonna end my momentum. If I just die a little early, pull too much aggro a little bit here and there, like, that'll be over. So I just gotta either pre-image or use invis, something, anything. That, or if you could sack me, that'd be great too. I don't think you're gonna do it though. Like, it's competition at this point, dude. Competition season. Everything goes. I wish we were a little bit close together, but what can you do? What can you do? Try to see if we can maybe use this little Gilblin over here to prime something. Or not. Above the tank when you're on top. No, 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 please don't. Don't. Wait, that actually would be so mean. Wait, we're gonna die here. I'll also do this. Oh. Okay, alright. Nice. Kind of doable. Kind of doable. Alright, actually have a proper go here. Hopefully I don't get targeted. Maybe I am. Or maybe we're chilling. Maybe we're vibing. Okay, yeah, drawn aggro. Yep. Yep. Yo, be res me real quick. Be res. Don't pull. Don't pull. Of course you're gonna pull. Of course you're gonna pull. Hit me with a oops. Yeah. Yeah. Fat chance that is an oops. Fat chance that's an oops. Oh, man. Okay, bro. All right, man. There it was, dude. There it is. I guess that's how that ends. Unless I can pad off of these guys somehow. Hold on. Oh, I'm gonna die. Hold on. Can I pad off them? Wait, that could be a huge pad. Hold on. Wait. Massive pad? Hold on. I can still pad. Hold on. I'm still padding. Invis. Shield myself. Big pad still? Whatever pad I can, man. Whatever pad I can give myself. Whatever can help. That's about all I can do there. You just grab a couple of them and pad. Yeah, I think it's over. I think I lose this. Unless I just like blast this boss to absolute smithereens. And maybe I can. Because I do have full PI and everything. I don't have a lot of mana though. Maybe barrage or something? How do we do? Ah, so close. It is actually so close for the entire run. Oh man. Okay. Okay, dude. Alright. Alright. I feel it. Okay. Yeah, I agree. GG's. Staff? Is it any good? No. Cloak? Yeah, cloak is good too. Man, that was actually rough, dude. That was so close. I definitely would have beat you if I didn't die there. If you just let the priest res me, I definitely would have been able to win. Definitely. I feel it in my bones, man. My bones feeling it. That's where my truth lies in, dude. Literally fibers of my body are just like, yeah, no, that was ours. That was mine. Sorry for the pocket sand at the end there. That was so messed up, dude. The whole oops. At the very least, you could have B-res me, right? What warrior, I mean, what paladin walks around without using a B-res? I don't think we used B-res once, did ya? What paladin walks around without using B-res even once? Hit him with that oops. I was like, okay, yeah, yeah. I was so messed up, man. Come on. I got my shrine. I had my full go. I got too much aggro, and again, I keep dying to aggro, right? Yeah, the one time I did die, it was just like melee with stable corruption, just get meleeed by these ads. Yeah, that's like my biggest problem. It's like the same thing as Devastation Evoker, just too much damage. You do too much damage in the opener and you just end up like snap aggro and everything to you. That's the hardest part of evoker, just living past that opener. Yeah. Oh man. That's rough, dude. That's rough. Plus, I gotta be melee a lot of the times, like if I want to do big AoE. So I'm like basically putting myself in that, like, oh, let me put myself in the danger zone immediately. Damn, that was rough, dude. I was so close too. I was so close. That was so cheesy though. That was so cheesy. GG's, man. GG's. Yeah, actually, you pump with a pally. If you can swap out those trinkets, I think you'll do even more damage than you do now. But the damage is really good. Maybe if you go Invis, you could do more. Maybe if you Invis, you could do more. I don't think I had Invis there, did I? Like, I don't think I had Invis. I'm pretty sure I was, like, looking at my defensives, like, really, really closely. But yeah, like, it just feels like every time I have to have, like, a go, I have to press the defensive. And I think it's just, like, that's gonna make Arcane Mage, like, when it comes to pushing, worse. Because if that's how tanks... I'm gonna guess that there's just, like, low geared, low experienced tanks who just aren't able to pick up aggro. Because if this is like the Arcane Mage experience of the high keys, there's just like, it's not really gonna be that fun. Because it's like, I basically just have to find a way to incorporate a defensive into an offensive, where I'd rather just use a defensive when I'm hit by mechanics and offensives when I want to do damage. But if I have to put them together like that, that's not gonna be that good. Why aspect of the monkey on your bar, XD? It's not aspect of the monkey, it's my poly. What do you mean? Don't you have polymorph into chimp? Look. It's like the best polymorph. What do you mean aspect of the monkey? You mean polymorph? You can have different kind of polymorphs as a mage. Like you can do duck. You can do what is that? There's duck, there's like sheep, there's I think pig. There's a couple others. I need to go get the book for the duck. I remember finding it on the beta once. It was somewhere in Azure Span. But I don't know exactly where it's at. But I want to get that one. That's the brain's too much level the hunter. Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. Yeah, no, it's just a different kinds of polys. Kevin Paladin shouldn't because I'm already a monkey brain. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Man, you know what? Honestly, Warthros, I'm gonna be waking up in cold sweats after that dungeon. It's like a random 14 in a Throne of the Tides. I'm just gonna be like, oh my god, man. I was mean. I was awful. I was just rude. But yeah, I need to do some actual like keys in this thing. I want to see if tanks like are able to keep up with aggro, because with the evoker, tanks end up keeping up with aggro. You could like the higher keys you go, the more freedom and comfortable you are popping your cooldowns. Because it's like tanks with an actual brain and actual gear and like that know their class, they grab aggro and there's no issues at all. There's nothing that's going to be dropping. That's going to be like having them lose aggro unless they're dead. But like tanks in this bracket, I just don't really know if like that guy was only one to pull like 2 mobs at a time. So I don't really know if he knows how to like pick up aggro or do damage. How much damage did it do even? Like a little. But like, I don't know. Maybe just trying to play around bolstering. Maybe that's why. But yeah. Actually, let me see if I can find the duck, polymorph duck, because I want to hop off for the night, but I just want to get that. Mage polymorph duck. Let's go best spell ever. Where do I find it? It's like there's like a wall with ice and there's a duck above it. Where is it? Okay, I have like a video that shows exactly where it's at. I think I have an idea. I'm gonna grab it real quickly. Just because I remember seeing it way back in the beta, and I was like, oh, cool, I need to remember to pick it up, and I've never gotten it. And we've been playing this expansion for how long now? So I have to go to Ronin's Shield, and it looks like it's like across Ronin's Shield, like in a cave way over here. It's like snowed in, but I think you can break through it if you do the expedition stuff. So like break past the wreckage, or you can just blink as a mage. So we got Ronan. Wait, Ronan's down here. Okay, so Ronan, and then she flew like in this direction, and it was like one of these caves here, I think it was. Is this it? Yeah, and there's a duck. Yeah, that's the one. Blink through it. Yeah, there's a bunch of ducks out here. They're just all vibing, chilling, and I think it's like down here. That was like a book you picked it up. Maybe they changed it? Or is it up here? It might actually be up here. Oh, Millhouse. That's okay. Yeah, Millhouse wasn't. Millhouse was here, but I don't think he was the guy that gave it to you. Okay, so they actually moved it. It used to just be like a tome down there. Cool. Millhouse, some weird is reading the diary. Okay, now we got duck. Okay, now we can get out. Yeah, they changed this a little. This used to just be like a cave. You walked in, picked up a book, that's it. But they like filled it with stuff. Like this was here, I'm pretty sure. I don't think ducks were here, except like over here. Or maybe it was just him. It's like I remember it partially, but I'm like almost starting to doubt like, is that how this was? I'm almost like doubting what I remember. All I remember is just like you go in the cave, you look down, you pick up a book, and you learn how to polymorph duck. But I guess like they added more stuff in. I mean, it's so fatty. Atal'Dazar for IO, and maybe that trinket. Yeah, Atal'Dazar is really good too. Alrighty, boys. I'm gonna call it here though. I do want to do some more keys. I'll probably do them off stream. I got guildies that are probably going to be doing stuff before the weekly reset. Otherwise, yeah, I'm gonna go get food and just hang out and chill for a bit. Tomorrow, Hero Talents, I'm probably gonna get up early to try to see if I can get some back end footage or B-roll footage, so I can like sit down and look at them pretty early on. But yeah, tomorrow should be a lot of fun. Also, I'm at some point this week they're gonna go and show off their trading post stuff, so maybe they'll do it tomorrow. But yeah, March is almost here. 10 to 6 is almost here, so that'll be really fun. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are wonderful, beautiful. Have a let me see if I can find you guys a good song to end the stream on. I know, perfect one. Head up me up whenever you're trying to once per season PvE coverage. Yeah, I'm right now like grinding. I grinded out my evoker to 2500 hero title, whatever, or achievement. Is that what it is? It's not a title, right? You don't get a title. Do you get a title from hero from reaching like 2500? I don't remember. But like when, what is it, 0 to hero thing? I'm trying to see if I can do that on my mage now, because I think I should. If I start putting effort into this guy, it's actually kind of fun. I like mage a lot. I just need a bit better gear, but like otherwise, I'm in a pretty good spot. Like I just need about a 475 or so, and push some keys, and I think it'll be golden. But yeah, thank you so much for coming by. You guys are wonderful, beautiful. Have a wonderful evening. See you guys all tomorrow for us taking a look at the hero talents. But yeah, alrighty, boys. Peace.
A digital breeze from cybernet seas. We may not make it out of the bay. Just unwind, it doesn't matter anyway. Try not to freeze or throw away the keys. The predator is now the prey. Things could be different. Things could be alright. Things could be innocent when dark becomes light. We're online, ready to fire away. Powered by a dream, connected to a screen. The revo's in 4K. When dark becomes light, we're online, ready to fire away. Powered by a dream, connected to a screen. The revo's in 4K.
With me here, you'll never be lonely. It's oh so clear, I've always been falling through a life that's upside down. Somehow you turn me around. So stay another night. 'Cause all we have is time. Keep you close and savor the moment. You raise my hopes and don't even know it. In a life that's upside down, somehow you turn me around. So stay another night, 'cause all we have is tonight.